Hello, Luke here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode. Now on with the show.
Raptors, they escaped to the storm. I gotta ask you something. Triceratops, how did you clone them? Whoa, amber is the key to dino eugenics, see? Whoa, mosquitoes preserved in DNA naturally. Whoa, amber is the key to dino eugenics, see?
Very nice.
Wow.
Beautifully. That was the best one, man.
Thank you.
So good.
God, what a great song.
Yeah. I caught on like right at the end there on like what you were doing, like the cover, and I was like, oh, I know this song.
That's the problem with like a lot of these like pop song covers and like trying to like manipulate them into the movie is like, wow, these songs are so bad.
Yeah.
All you ever like latch onto is the chorus. So there's like a whole chunk of freaking like Natalie Imbigula just like ranting and almost doing a rap. And then all of a sudden it's like, perfect sky is torn. And you're like, okay, here we are.
We call that Jurassic Pop.
Exactly.
Pop.
And welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I'm Luc Londe, joined once again, as always, almost by Chuck Starzenski.
Almost always, but sometimes never, Chuck Starzenski.
And we are joined by very special guests today, Zach and Nathan Blaustone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
Welcome,
us.
guys.
Thank you. We are the Mortal Kombat podcast.
Yeah.
We are.
Visiting y'all today. Thank you for having us.
We're
On a Sunday, no less.
Yes.
Yes. Sunday night, because it is not 10 a.m. in the morning.
No,
right
it
now,
is not.
Or 11 a.m. We would never do that.
And we watched Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Indeed.
There it is. Welcome to Jurassic Park. We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
The most phenomenal discovery of our time
How'd you do this?
becomes the greatest adventure of all time.
Can I touch it?
Sure.
Universal Pictures presents
You feel that?
Hold on to your butts.
a Steven Spielberg film.
Fences are failing all over the park. Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go.
An adventure
I can't get Jurassic Park back online.
65 million years in the making. Jurassic Park.
And do you have a...
Yeah,
the
all
sound.
of the fucking log lines are like everything's like a paragraph. So I have a pair of paleontologists and a mathematician are invited to experience the world's first live dinosaur theme park.
Da-da-da-da.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Everything else is like literally like, so this is Dr. Allen and he does this, this, and this, and then Jeff Goldblum shows up and he does, and it's like, dude, this is a plot summary. This is not a like log line.
I think that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
I think it's a great summary of what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually try to think of what I would try to tell somebody if they'd never seen it and try to get them to watch it. And like none of those log lines that they've listed are
Yeah.
I got
enticing
one.
in any way.
I got a log line.
Oh, go for it.
Logus.
A multimillionaire's dream of a dinosaur theme park goes horribly wrong when the attractions escape their enclosures.
That's what they need. That's it right
Yeah,
there.
that's it.
Yeah.
Holy
Perfect.
shit, you're hired.
For Jurassic Park, taglines.
Season 2, the same billionaire goes down to the Titanic
Oh, they did
and
it.
dies.
They made they're still making films.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I'm sure we'll get to that.
That question,
we will.
that question in the script that you sent us, where it's like, should they make a remake, whatever? I'm like, they've made too many remakes.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. I think we're all feeling that. Yeah, feeling that pain. So you two are brothers.
Mhm.
Do you have a shared nostalgia for this movie?
Oh yeah,
we do.
we just grew up watching the films we were allowed to watch. We came from a very religious family, and so Jurassic Park was just one of the films that
It's
we
one
had.
of the films.
And so we watched it every day. Where's the feed? We watch it every day.
There were certain films when we were thinking about like what movies to watch. There's like 10 films that are just like, oh, all of those are our childhood, and things like Toy Story was in the same mix.
Star Wars,
all 3 Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
All 3 of them. Yeah.
Right on.
And Jurassic Park kind of goes like in the same Star Wars type theme, right? You had like Jurassic Park, and then it was like Indiana Jones. And so we chose Jurassic Park because when we were really little, we had this backyard that had like all this really tall grass, and we would make tunnels in the grass, and we had all of the action figures for like the Velociraptors. And me and our sister would put the Velociraptors on each corner of the grass, and we were like little enough to like crawl through. And I would like shake the grass like how the Velociraptors would, you know? So there's good connections.
Nice.
Yeah, I have no memory of that, but
You were little.
that was very little.
Yeah, you were like the T-Rex in the distance.
Yeah.
You were one of the toys. You weren't part of the game.
I'm just a baby laying on the grass.
I just feel like we got really lucky because this was like I was born in 1990. So this movie came out and it was like, get me the action figures.
Yeah.
You know, like in the movie, they have all of their own paraphernalia, like in the movie itself. Yeah. So when I was rewatching it, I was like, God, they got us so good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They did. And they probably made a shit ton of money off it, too.
Oh, I'm sure they have the facts.
Yeah.
They did.
How about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I was 4 when this came out. So needless to say, I loved this movie growing up. We had bootleg VHS copies of it because we grew up very poor and didn't have the actual thing. So somebody recorded it off of like Cinemax or something at some point and passed it around.
Totally.
But yeah, probably definitely wore that tape out. It was definitely the dominant piece of pop culture in my early life that wasn't like Disney or Nickelodeon related. I became obsessed with dinosaurs and learning about anything adjacent. So it's just like, oh, hell yeah, a book on reptiles at the Scholastic Fair. Like, yeah. Ooh, a paleontologist brush. Like, it's like, oh, that's a paintbrush. It's a paintbrush. Exactly.
With Jurassic Park engraved on it.
One of my earliest school memories, too, was a moment of being, like, super anxious and scared in kindergarten. Not really knowing what to do, you know, like, just being like, oh, there's too many, like, kids around me that I don't know and all that. And I just remember, like, being hyper fixated on the T-Rex on my Jurassic Park lunchbox. And it like calmed me down. Like I discovered mindfulness basically, like as like awesome. A like 5-year-old or whatever, just being like, okay, I'm gonna stare right into its big, spooky, cold reptile eyes and count to 10. Okay. All right, we're okay. We can finger paint again. All right, we're here.
Well, I saw this when I was 13. I saw it like the first night it came out in the theaters, and I was just blown away. This is way before the internet. This is way before. Yeah. I mean, there was plenty of commercial hype about it, but like, I still wasn't prepared for just the awesomeness of the realism, especially with all the gore and stuff. But yeah, it was a great time. It was a blast.
Good gore too.
Yeah.
It's like chopped off arms.
I was telling Chuck before the podcast, for some strange reason, I actually haven't seen this movie since that day.
What?
But I love this movie.
Wow.
Since you were 13?
Since I was 13.
I know. I was blown away. I was like, "What? How?" But like, how did you escape it? That's also part of it.
It's so part of this, because I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
So I never have. But it's so a part of the zeitgeist. All the memes, all the everything from this movie is still going on.
Yeah.
There's stuff coming out every day, and people think it's brand new. I'm like, no, that came out so long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a very fond childhood memory, even though it's so long ago.
Oh yeah.
So seeing it in theaters at I mean, we did not see it in theaters.
I don't remember seeing it in theaters.
But did that movie scare you?
No, not really. Not at 13. It was. I knew it was a carnival ride, you know, and that's kind of what it was meant to be.
I think that was what's so successful about it. Is I remember even watching it at 7 or 8 and like being scared, but not like terrified. I can't sleep. It was more of just like really theatrical and amazing. Sure. Yeah.
I got pretty scared from it.
You were getting scared a lot as a kid.
I got scared really easily as a kid, though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some really good scary scenes in it.
It's great.
There's a person getting eaten by a large animal in the movie, and there's blood, and there's like there's chopped
it's
goat.
The real deal.
And like all kinds of nasty shit in here.
Absolutely. It's the scene where like you have Samuel L. Jackson, right? That's who's in it. And his arm like right there and like hits her shoulder.
Oh yeah.
And she's like,
oh yeah,
you're here, and then she backs up and pulls the arm out.
That's a horror movie.
I was like freaked out from that. I was like, oh my god, it's an arm.
Isn't she like Arnold? Isn't that his
name? Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Arnold. Oh, thank God. It's like
freaks
out. Oh my gosh, that'd be horrific.
Yeah, It was nuts.
Yeah, we're already on it. But yeah, what are your boys' most nostalgic scenes or favorite scenes? Doesn't have to be something that you're like, I love this when I was 6, not no more.
I just want to point out that we are brothers, but we do not live together, nor do we watch movies together anymore. So we both rewatched it individually.
We'll consistently
Curious if we have similar
quotes. We are consistently saying like old movie quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple from here that I'm wondering if you're like.
Well, so my first one is when like they land in the park and they're in the Jeep.
Yep.
Right.
The main scene.
And
right?
you see Grant and there's like freaking out. And he takes his glasses off and like
grabs her head. Turns
and then he says, "They would move in herds." They do move in herds. It's like our parents would say that, like making dinner, they would just say that line and then laugh at each other, and we just always used to say that.
Yeah.
Just such a great classic scene.
Oh, that's like the golden scene. But then there's also like I think the scene that makes the movie is the scene where is it the T-Rex?
Yes.
Where it's the kids in the car and it breaks through the top glass and they're like, ah!
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh, that scene I feel
scene.
like was just so well done. Steps on top of the car, the kids are sinking in the mud and they're like sinking and
Yeah,
screaming.
that mud was so Nickelodeon, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I feel like no one screams in movies like they did back then. Like those screams were terrifying.
We'll get to one of those screams later on when we do facts, but and trivia. But yeah,
There's loads.
no, the fucking T-Rex. This movie is amazing with stuff like, and I'm not to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But yeah, the T-Rex scene alone, that is the movie.
Yeah.
Like if that was the climax of the film, you would still have a banger. Like this would still be like an amazing fucking summer blockbuster. But the fact that is Act 1.
Yeah.
it's like, all right, end of Act 1. We still got plenty more dinos to like
Yeah.
hunt and chase and get eaten by and all that fun stuff. So yeah.
That was the same scene right before where they was like, "Where'd the goat go?"
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
did it go?
And then the leg hit. That's another scene where I was a kid and I was just like terrified.
Oh yeah.
It's like another chopped off limb. Like, oh god. Killed it.
Goldblum becomes the hero.
Yeah, when I was rewatching, I was realizing how much of a player like Goldblum is, and I thought like Dr. Grant and what's her name? Is it Ellie or
Ellie? Yeah.
Ellie? They're like a thing, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the next question. We'll get to it. I'll wait till the next.
That gets resolved later on when it's just Grant and Goldblum sitting in the Jeep by themselves. Like, you guys are a thing, right?
He's like, yes, we are. Okay, I'm just wondering.
But you see no connection between them the whole movie. There's no touching. I mean, maybe like a touch on the back, but there's no anything romantic.
There's really not anything sexual in this film that I was realizing.
They're very dinosaur oriented.
Yes.
Yeah, they're scientists. Okay.
Scientists.
The only thing they brush is dirt off bones.
That's right. I'm sure they get nasty during Palian play.
Exactly. The greatest board game ever played by a couple.
She just hides in the dirt. And like, where am I? And he has to like excavate her.
Come excavate me, Dr. Grant.
She's just not moving.
Yeah.
That's on the internet now.
But yeah, also you mentioned, just the sheer sexual energy that Dr. Malcolm brings.
Yeah.
One of my favorite non-dinosaur scenes is Malcolm's explanation of chaos theory.
Oh, it's so
while
good.
he's
it's so
openly
good.
hitting on Ellie, like in front of Dr. Grant. Yeah, and just like, let's see what this. Yeah, exactly. Let's see what this drop
It's
goes.
one step away of, I can explain chaos theory, but I need your breasts.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Oh, the 90s. Yeah, I got a couple more.
Oh, yeah, we got plenty
Oh
more.
yeah, we got
Go
so
for
much.
it.
Yeah, go
Go
for
for
it.
it.
Keep
man.
going for
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
So there's scene at the end, or kind of the end, when the kids are like almost dead and they're like escaped the kitchen, or maybe it's right before they go in the kitchen, but they find all that food
On
on the
ice
table.
cream.
Yeah.
I just remember every time we'd watch it, I would always think about that scene coming up and being like, man, it's not fair.
I want that much.
There's so much
sweets.
chocolate cake and
Yeah.
like Jell-O. Looks so good.
Also, something I didn't clock when I was younger is how hungry they must have been.
Yeah.
Holy! I was just like, oh, they get cake and ice cream and yummies. That must be
they're
amazing.
starving and they get like
But now
moose.
I'm like, they are probably like dying of
They've
starvation.
been climbing trees and walking through
Yeah.
jungle
Yeah.
for 3 days.
Exactly.
They're fucking done for.
I thought they executed that perfectly. Everyone in this movie suffers.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
They suffer.
For
They're all
sure.
dirty and wet.
I also love Spielberg's dedication to the suffering. I love that little Timmy is like, he gets his fun moment. He's like shoving cake in his mouth with his hands and eating ice cream, but he's still got the blood dripping out of his ears.
Half his ear is gone.
Because he got electrocuted.
Exactly.
God.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg is like a king of detail.
Of facts.
Always
truth.
finding new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that electrocution fence scene too, like where you've got the tension of like, oh, she's gonna flip the switch, but he's gonna get off. She's gonna flip, and then it's like he just gets literally launched.
He does. He's on strings. You can that classic string pullback.
Yeah.
He wakes up saying 3.
I want to imagine Spielberg like there, like with the megaphone and just like, fry the boy! Fry the boy.
He said fry.
Fry. Yeah. Fry the boy. Fry him. He just like, and then they fire off the rig that launches him.
Yeah, it's probably just like some stuffed fake human.
Maybe. I don't know, man.
That looked pretty real.
It looked like he was on, like some kind of rigs,
think they still
some
use the same
wires and
boy?
stuff.
Oh, I don't know if they use this.
Maybe a stunt boy.
They probably use a cheaper boy.
Cheaper
boy.
This is the 90s.
Yeah. They went and got a Kirkland boy, man. It was a wide shot.
Someone's cousin.
Yeah.
What about you, Chuck? Any
Yeah, I got
sorry, Luke.
That's okay.
I got a few.
Yeah, you want to jump in, Luke?
For
got a lot.
For me, I mean, I love the whole film. Like, it's hard to pick a scene. But I noticed going through, because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, there's a maxim that I picked up as a kid that Hammond says to Nedry. It's like, I don't blame people for their mistakes, but I do expect them to pay for them. I've used this my entire fucking life. And I had no idea where it came from.
Yeah.
And I've looked for it. I've searched for it on the internet. I've looked for it in like all the books, the Bible, all this stuff, and it's not there. It's from fucking Jurassic Park.
It's the Book of Crichton.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Michael Crichton. But yeah, that's like the biggest thing that hit me rewatching this film. It's like, that's what I said that.
Yeah, right.
No.
Those classic lines you say. There's so many of them in this.
Are they heavy?
Are they heavy?
Then they're expensive.
Put them down. It's another one our parents would say all the time.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts.
Be like, that's from Jurassic Park. Yeah, while he's got the cigarette butt in his mouth.
Yeah.
Hold on to your butts.
Yeah.
I got Lex getting sneezed on by the Brachiosaurus. The
Oh
snot
my
scene.
god.
Dude, that
that's
poor
disgusting.
little fucking girl.
Oh my god.
Never gets a break.
No,
That'll
she doesn't.
teach her to reach out and be adventurous.
Yeah. No, like, it's like Lex is just like, just because she's not, like, got her nose buried in a dinosaur book, like,
Go ahead,
you know.
Lex, be brave.
Yeah,
Do it,
exactly.
do it.
Yeah, we're gonna
And-
sneeze on you.
Yeah, she's like rightfully so freaked out that there's monsters everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, these are not dinosaurs, they are monsters. They
Yeah,
are
it's true.
genetically engineered frogs that
Yeah.
look like T-Rexes. Yeah.
This is how to give a child trust issues 101.
Exactly.
We actually said that because in that same scene right before they wake up, you know, Dr. Grant, who never wanted to have kids, and then all of a sudden they're like cuddling with him, and she says, you know, what if the dinosaurs come back when we're asleep? He's like, then I'll be awake all night. And they like curdle up into him. They're like, wow, trust issues healing. All happens so fast.
Yeah, and these are just some rich kids from the billionaire, right?
Yeah, this is grandkids.
Yeah.
The most rotten kind.
They seem like some really nice rich kids, though.
Yeah.
Gonna say.
Pretty well behaved.
Pretty
yeah.
well behaved.
Great
rich
actors,
kids.
too.
Better than the raptor monologue at the beginning.
Oh, I
One of
fucking
my-
love
my
that so
favorite.
much.
Yeah.
Which one's
Definitely
that?
He
Where-
talks down to the little kid that calls the
Oh,
raptor
yeah.
skeleton looks like a giant
Dude,
6-foot turkey.
So I looked it up. That
Love
kid
that.
was just a random like volunteer actor they grabbed.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
yeah,
He
And
killed it.
Gets,
Killed
gets
it.
One of the best.
demolished in this
Yeah.
He's one of the best actors
Yeah.
in the movie.
His
His face is just like,
you could feel like his sadness and fear. That was amazing.
I also just like, it's more of a nitpick, and I should save it for later, but I also just love that it's like, why is there a fucking kid just at this random
Yeah.
dig in Montana?
Yeah.
And he's just there, like, you know, in the corner, like,
Doesn't seem scary.
just like, it's like, it's just a giant turkey. And it's like, go fucking hang out in the tent, Billy. Like, go away.
wrong film. The Goonies. You're in the wrong film.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say something so Sam Neill can react to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of setup in
I
this.
do
film.
love, though, that, he just goes into vivid detail of, like, and then it would take this steak knife sized talon,
Yeah.
and it would cut your belly, and like down, like, and you wouldn't die yet. Like, it's just like very morbid, vivid detail.
Part of one of my band names.
Yeah. The initial tour with the DNA cartoon and the incubation room and like raptor hatching stuff. As a kid, just like because I grew up super poor, so like I never went to a theme park like when I first saw this movie. So I was like, I was like super into that. I was like, dude, is this what Disneyland is like? Like, I was like, oh my God, Universal Studios must be the tits. Like, I was very like, oh, you get to sit in a chair that moves and they
Moves
show
and
you
wiggles?
cartoons? Yeah. Like, I was,
You get strapped into a chair.
exactly.
Yeah.
I also thought it was like, I was thinking like, how does he like in a real life person talking to the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
he
incredible.
Took some of his blood. How do you do that?
How do you take his blood?
All of his kids fell for it.
I totally fell for that.
Yeah.
And my dad said, he's just acting. I was like, what?
No, Dad, this is a movie.
Jurassic Park.
Also, talk about like the most brilliant way to do like a shitty exposition dump is literally just like, hey kids, I'm Mr. DNA.
Exactly.
So all those questions you have about how the dinosaurs came back and how this movie works, here they are.
It came out of sap.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Like, perfect.
And the scene where they're like, how complicated. They're like, dude, using scientific methods, they got to the DNA, and it just shows them drill a hole.
He's just using a fucking DeWalt. Just
That was perfect. Direct shot.
It's like
That
a
looks
big drill too. It's
Yeah.
like, oh wow. Think you tore it apart.
Exactly. It's like, wow. Better be super careful with this extremely rare piece of amber.
Yeah, seriously.
Every time they did, it just cracks. Get another one.
Yep.
Get another.
Yep.
I also don't remember the first two scenes.
Oh, yeah.
The raptor in the cage
Oh,
against
yeah.
the guy. And
Shoot her!
then
Shoot her!
the close-up on the mouths in this movie is a really weird choice.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
weird.
I was gonna put that in one of my nitpicks because from the jump it was like that's cheesy. Even a kid could be like, "Why are we watching his lips?"
Nobody before or after has done that.
Really?
I don't
Have you
don't
seen
remember
it?
any other movies that have done that
Close up
twice.
shots.
It's like an old
Two different
1950s
Yeah.
focus on the face right in the mouth.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's definitely like people do that like for like if it's like they're doing a radio scene or something like that where you want to see like you don't want to reveal the whole character or something, but it's like we've already seen the dude. It's weird to just like
We're like inside their mouths. when
Yeah.
we're doing this.
Whoever's like in the editing room, they're like, you know what, that was so good. Let's put another one.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Right
Just
after the
repeat
first
it.
one.
Loop
exactly.
Yeah.
Same shot.
I really want to see the plaque on his tongue go in.
it. Yeah.
Oh man, I hate that when like they do a close up shot like that and you can like see something in their teeth. Or like, oh, I don't think they brushed their teeth today.
That makes
The
a lot of
other one
sense.
was Sam Jackson, right?
Yeah, with the
And it's
cigarette
like-
hanging out too.
Yeah,
right?
it's like, oh, come on, dude, I don't want to be next to that.
Yeah, that was good though. That
seriously.
created a good like ambiance. Like
It definitely
gross
created,
Coder's room.
Same with Wayne Knight, I think it is.
Yeah, Dennis.
All of his shots, they do such a great job of making you just feel like gross and like, oh, this filthy man that just wants money and food. And
Who the tech savvy coder?
Yeah.
Who does like 2 million lines of code? And
Oh yeah, I feel like this time period was like Wayne Knight's like huge career. He was in
Oh
everything.
yeah. He was in Basic Instinct. He
Yeah.
was like Newman. He
Space
was killing
Jam.
it. Space Jam.
Seinfeld.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did great.
I have a question. I don't know where else to put it, but is Nedry just a lazy anagram of nerdy?
Yes, it is.
It's sad, this movie still does a great job, which I'm sure we'll get into later, of like stereotyping.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's like one nerd and he's overweight and like greedy and has no friends and is kind of dorky and like sweaty all the time. It's like now tech people are like 6-pack and
Yeah. Now you've got
bodybuilders.
You got your Silicon Valley bros who are like, well, yeah, like I've got all the time in the world to sculpt because like I just wake up, I code for like an hour and a
From
half.
home.
And, yeah,
It's
exactly.
fine.
I tried the paleo diet, but it just didn't work out for me.
Exactly.
They also made Nedry. He was that scene where he's like, "You're the only one that can run this entire park."
Yeah.
It's like, damn, it's a lot of power.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I definitely we'll get into that one for sure in a little bit here, but yeah. As far as I know we're still on favorite scenes, but fucking speaking of Nedry, just his death scene is like one of the best scenes in the whole
Oh,
movie.
that, I
Like,
definitely wrote that down as the best.
Very scary.
Very.
venom spat in the eyes and like just like as a kid that was like the T-Rex scene didn't scare me.
No.
It was that death scene.
I would even close my eyes and not watch it when I was a kid because
That
it would
sound.
Just, yeah. It's like, oh my god, fuck that.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I mean, that was another scene where like people would do that. They put their hands like up like this and be like, "It's like imitate that dinosaur."
yeah.
Like as a kid I understood like, okay, T-Rex, that's like a one bite, you're done, it's over, it's quick. But it's like, dude, as long as I don't get acid in my fucking eyes, then I have one life. Like that's kind of like doesn't matter what I accomplish with the rest of my golden years. Like as long as no one spits acid into my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Seriously.
nipples at you
Yeah.
until you stop breathing.
Oh
In a Jeep.
That whole scene is so pathetic too. The way he falls down.
Oh,
the
it's-
little
he does
waterfall,
so
loses his
good.
glasses. Like I'm still gonna keep
He's like
going.
encouraging himself.
Yeah, he's
He's like, "Come on, you got this.
You got this, Ned.
Come on."
Come on, Nettie, be a big boy.
Big boy now.
Yeah, we pretty much hit on everything personally, except for obviously the Raptor kitchen scene. We didn't really go into it too much, but
That was a really well done scene, I think.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the best.
Me and my lady were talking about that. You know that part where it's Lex and she's trying to close the door and it's the reflection? Mm-hmm. Do you think that she intelligently planned that, or do you think that was her actually afraid and
I think she just got lucky. I think
she got lucky.
Yeah.
Especially the way they make Lex's character in this movie. She is the ultimate damsel in distress, knows nothing character until she can finally hack the mainframe at the end.
Yeah, which is like a nitpick. That's a nitpick we'll get into.
She's a fantastic Unix expert.
Exactly. Yeah.
It controls everything in the park.
I feel like as a kid, I never put together that's like all of a sudden she just is a professional coder.
Yeah.
What?
It's very like Disney-esque Hollywood.
Oh, speaking of, we're getting into it then. What are you guys' worst scenes or moments you could forget? I feel like they're all just going to be more nitpicky because I don't know. This movie's a banger. Like,
yeah,
there's
it's
not
really
a bad
it was hard.
scene.
It was really hard for me. I think that not getting into the controversy of it, but for me as a kid, it was like, I guess this is like they did such a good job on like making things gross. So you brought up that sneezing scene, but like that first scene when Ellie's like arms deep into the dino shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, it felt very cheesy. She's like, well, it looks like we have to go into the dino droppings. Show me where the dino droppings are. And there's like random guys that work for the park with their glasses and hats on. I'm like, where did they come from? Are they just like out there with these sick dinosaurs no matter what? And then, that was like the nitpicky I had as a kid was like, I could go without that. Now it's like, whatever. But as a kid, thinking about it, it still kind of grosses me out.
I don't remember her having the gloves.
Oh, really?
I don't either. I remember
just
her
diving
raw
in bare
dogging.
hands.
Really?
Yeah.
In my mind's eye, I remember her just hitting
that
the shit.
That scene when she's like comes out and takes off one glove and she leaves the other one on.
Yeah.
It's so good. She's like, whoosh.
Yeah, it just doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Yeah, some of the scenes in this movie show her as a real badass. Still, most of it is her like needing the men to save her. But there's a couple scenes where all of a sudden it's like, oh, the dudes can't handle it, but she can handle it. Girls can handle shit.
I also love Dr. Malcolm in that scene. He's like, you're going to wash your hands, right? Just like addresses it. Like, just in a normal movie, you'd have that scene and we just hard cut. And he's just like, no, you're going to get back in the Jeep with your shit hands?
Yeah.
Was that before or after the chaos theory explanation? I was like,
I think it's right
it's
after.
definitely
Right
after,
after.
yeah.
Right after that is when she like jumps
makes
out.
more sense now.
Yeah.
I put, I only could have come up with like one because I just got so lost in like reminiscing on the film that like I wasn't like, let's take everything out or like nitpicky. That sneezing scene was definitely like gross. And I was like, but I think it like fits the movie, like whatever.
I thought it needed more.
Yeah. More nasty.
More goop.
Like that. Yeah.
I would have gone for more snot and less blood.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't I didn't write anything down.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've got some stuff. I might just hold my breath, get through the first ad break, and I'll save them for the nitpicks. Because all of them are nitpicks.
There
really.
is this one scene, though. It's like, I wish I like timed it where it was in the movie, but it's like something's happening right before, and there's like a 1 minute scene where it's Goldblum and Dr. Brandt in the car, and all Goldblum's talking about is how he's looking for his next ex Malcolm. He's like, I just need to know my next ex Malcolm. Cuts to a completely different scene. It's almost like that scene was just like, well, we're gonna put it here. All right.
Dude, I think they just like had Goldblum cook for a long time. They were like, we don't know what to do with a lot of this stuff, so we're just gonna like pepper it in. I guess I got one. It's more. It's really just you already mentioned it, like the Alan with the kids in the treetops. My only scene is it's just like he's hardened paleontologist who like never wants to settle down or have kids. Like he's on the verge of getting a vasectomy, and then he saves these kids. They're in the treetops, and it's like, like I know it needs to be there because it's a Spielberg family film, but it is that like,
Instant.
like why? Yeah, he's just instantly bonded with these children.
Yeah.
Lovingly stroking Tim's hair and just like, I'll stay up all night.
I'll stay up all night for you. Doing dad jokes where he grabs the electric fence after. I got the kids. The movie wouldn't have been made without this scene. But this scene kills me, is when they get out of the Jeeps, right? And they're like, wherever it was when they're about to go to the dino shit. And then they're back in the security room. Yeah. And that one character that's like the best, he's like the gung-ho dinosaur dude.
Yeah.
He's like, I told you we needed locking mechanisms on the doors. And you're like, yeah, why didn't they put locks on the doors? Like that's like the dumbest thing. But then there wouldn't have been any movie.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten out and there'd been no chase.
Oh, the T-Rex would have come and just crushed
But every
him.
once in a while, there's those lines where they're like, to keep the script going, we need this line here.
Yeah.
Where's the locks?
There's also an armament mismatch they're walking around with just combat shotguns for
Yeah.
dinosaurs. When
Yeah.
you can't do that with a bear.
Yeah.
What were they? I don't know.
The 90s shotguns were badass,
You
basically.
need some kind of futuristic weapon to
Yeah.
make me think you can stand up to them. Like, Muldoon's not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
Like, you just,
Shotgun
Ridiculous.
tranquilizers. That'll get it.
yeah.
Shoot her!
Can't imagine tranking a dinosaur. You need like a gallon of fluid.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You can't do it in a dart form. No, there's no way.
Dart hits and then the needle bends. And just
Yeah.
And then I guess the biggest nitpick is, at the very end with the Unix. We kind of brought that up before, right? The Unix system.
The most un-user-friendly software ever made.
And her eyes like light up. She's like,
I know
I
this.
know this. Like, everything was custom made. There's no way she ever saw that before in her life.
Yeah.
I do love right before that too. There's like the retort. Tim's like, well, she's a nerd. She spends all her time like on her computer, and she's like, I am a hacker. Like she, like very like, how dare you? This is a badge of honor.
Yeah.
it was so hot back then. Hacking
know.
was so hot.
Was it?
Same year of The Matrix. Like there was so many films that
that
were like
was-
hackers.
yeah, the
and-
Hackers, the movie, as well.
Oh,
True.
Yeah.
what a
Yeah.
great
No.
film.
I also love like in 90s, while we're on it, 90s computer movie scenes where it's just like hacking is like going into a weird computer animation of like, okay, this is like a model of the building. I'm going to go here and here. And it's like, what?
That's not what hacking is.
This dot goes through this maze and gets there, and everything's
Exactly.
unlocked. You've completed the task.
Yeah,
It's like Among Us.
Hacker became in the 90s the equivalent with Ninja.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, true.
So it was that was their go-to bad guy.
You're a cyber ninja. That's
And they
why.
just got sexier and sexier as
Yeah.
time went on.
True.
Then Silicon Valley.
And now they're all rich, so they're very sexy.
Overall, we can agree there's some really hard things to nitpick about this movie.
It's a great film, man. It's really hard to nitpick at it.
We're not even at the nitpick section.
Yeah, it's coming. Chucky's coming in hot later. Don't worry. Speaking of coming hot, we've got this movie's mocktail.
Tell us
So-
what it is, Chuckalicious.
So for today, boys, we have Jurassic Punch.
Ooh.
It is. I tried really hard to think of something that could be like dino-y. So we have 2 cups of lychees. So like lychees come in like a fun spiky shell, so kind of dinosaur eggy. This is where I was trying, man. I was like,
Damn,
I'm
nice.
bad at mocktails. I was like, So anyways, 2 cups of lychees that I juiced. 1 peach, 1 lime, 1 lemon. Juice all the fruit. Mix with a little bit of lime oleosaccharum, which is lime peels, and a little sugar. Basically like a natural simple syrup with the oils of the lime peels. Touch of soda. And sip carefully as you watch for raptors.
It's actually really good, man.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It was very tasty.
It's a really nice, like, little summer thing to sip on.
It was one of those too where it was like the peach and the lychee. I was like, I took 1 sip and I was like, oh, this is like one of those, like, these flavors were never meant to meet. It's like these grew on opposite sides of the planet for a reason.
It's damn good. It's dino good.
It's dino good, baby. Lychee. I don't think I've ever used or heard of lychee.
Yeah,
Go to your local Asia Mart.
Hell yeah.
Telling you. Rambutan, if you want to really get wild.
Sounds like you need to be making more Jurassic drinks. Zach.
Yeah.
Gotta get Jurassic with it.
Zachary and Chuck are both bartenders, so
Not just bartenders, baby. We're high-end bartenders.
I know I'm having one of the dino drinks right now.
Yeah, it'll be $26, please. Yeah, exactly.
$20 with tax.
Damn.
42.
All right, ad break.
Take our ad break. And we're back with Act 2, The Evidence Board. Trivia, making of behind the scenes, casting alternates, etc., etc. You got the deets?
Yeah, I got a lot of hot deets.
Go for it.
So, Jurassic Park, released in 1993. This movie cost $63 million. But, holy shit. This movie grossed $1 billion.
In 1993.
So, it made like $90 million, basically, in its initial release. And then they did a re-release like about, I think, 10 years ago or something like that. And it made $10 million, like for the weekend that it was out. Written by Michael Crichton and David Kopp.
Kep.
Kep?
Yeah.
There it is. David Kep. Directed by old Steven Spielberg. Spielberg won the bidding war for this film. He paid fucking $1.5 million before the novel was even published.
Jeez.
And he paid Crichton an additional $500,000 to adapt it to a screenplay.
I remember.
So it's like $2 million.
Wow.
Without even reading the thing. He's just like, oh, sick dinosaur movie.
Give it to me.
Money.
The whole industry leaned on Michael Crichton in that era so much.
Yeah.
He was responsible for like a lot of our culture.
Wow.
For strangely enough.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Yeah.
Spielberg intended Jurassic Park to be a spiritual successor to Jaws when he set out to make it. That's also why he was like, give me the dino movie. We're making Jaws too.
Give me the thing with teeth that walks on land.
The dinosaur noises were made from a composite of audio taken from baby elephants, whales, donkeys, penguins, tigers, alligators, and dogs.
Fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds like it.
That's sick.
Speaking of sound, articulating what a dinosaur would sound like was so important to Steven Spielberg that he actually invested a shit ton of money in DTS, which is a company that was pioneering surround sound at the time, and it made this the first film to ever use digital surround sound.
Wow.
They're still in Burlingame.
Wow.
I almost went to go work for them.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think I've heard of DTS.
Yep.
Yeah, they're definitely
still
like,
here. Yeah.
it's like every DVD ever has like a little DTS sticker on the bottom corner. I'll just keep rolling. During its original theatrical run, it was the highest grossing movie of all time, only to be usurped by Titanic.
Of course.
This movie was also, they poured a shit ton of money in it, so they wanted to make it slightly accurate. So they actually hired paleontologist Jack Horner. He was brought on to help ensure the dinosaur designs were as accurate as scientifically possible. Because Phil Tippett, sweet baby Phil Tippett, he had some like super cool, gnarly like metal designs for the dinosaurs early on.
That would have been a jaunty stroll through hell. Right
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like he had like forked tongues and like crazy shit, and then the paleontologist was like, "No, this is all wrong." The perfect rings in the vibrating water glass were one of the hardest, like, and easy special effects to pull off. Spielberg basically was like driving somewhere and he's listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire in his like car, and like the bass was super high and it like made something vibrate in his cup, and he was like, "Oh, I want the dinos to do that." But he wanted like, he was like very anal about it. He wanted like the perfect circular
ripples.
rings.
Yeah.
The way they did it is they basically gutted the entire dashboard of the car and then strung guitar strings throughout it.
Wow.
And so there's a guy plucking guitar strings underneath the dash, and that's what's causing it.
Weird.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the lead like practical effects dude who was doing stuff like that, basically he was just like at his wit's end trying to figure out what to do, and he was just like literally set his like beer or whatever like on his amp, and he was just like dicking around on his guitar trying to like de-stress himself. And he noticed that like, oh, there's perfect rings in my beer.
It's like, so like in the making when you can't hear, there's no sound, all you're hearing is just like bang. That was good. Do it again. Hit a G.
Hey, give it one more time.
The
G worked.
It's a F sharp and a half.
Exactly.
Bang.
No. I said it's a T-Rex. Drop D. You got to retune this thing. Dum. Dum, 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 dum.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
It's a great fact.
The film it pioneered the mixing of CGI and animatronics. There's a lot of behind the scenes special effects stuff we can get into, but I'll just keep cruising. I mentioned the scream earlier. You were like, kids don't scream like that anymore. And this is probably why Lex is such a shitty character.
Yeah.
Ariana Richards, who plays Lex, auditioned for the role, and she brought like a monologue, and she's like, I'm an actor. I'm going to do this thing. And Steven Spielberg literally like just cut her off and was like, no. It's like, scream. And so she got the part because she was the best child
I think
that
I
could
remember
scream.
hearing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Christina Ricci auditioned too, but she couldn't scream as good.
Yeah.
So it was like, nah, the little blonde one can scream. We're taking her.
God damn.
This movie had a bunch of fun alternative casting, which, dude, this guy has become the king. This guy is almost cast in every single fucking movie we've ever done on this podcast. I swear, I shit you not. Like, aside from like some weird indie bangers that we've done, like Richard Dreyfuss was considered for the role of Dr. Alan Grant, but he turned it down. Dude, Richard Dreyfuss, he's got to be like he's the pickiest actor on the planet, I feel like, because literally every movie it's like, and then like Neo from The Matrix was gonna be Richard Dreyfuss. It's literally like everyone hits up Richard D first, and then he's like, no.
I don't remember what he's been in where he's been good.
I haven't seen it,
I watched American Graffiti a little while ago, and I'm like, so
maybe
so what?
Maybe Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Maybe I haven't seen it in a long time.
Was he
But
the
that
old
wasn't-
guy in Close Encounters, or the
He's
dad?
youngish.
Youngish.
It's like
but
70s,
it wasn't about
80s.
him though. It was,
No.
He was barely. I don't know. He's shooting well above his station. Is what I'd say.
Tim Robbins, Harrison Ford,
Wait,
These are
William
auditions?
all going for Grant.
all going for Grant.
Harrison Ford,
Would've
right?
been
Surprise.
great.
Well, I mean, no, he's been in everything. He was Indiana Jones.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I think that's why. I think it was one of those where it's just like, no, dude, I got like 9 movies coming out this year. We're good.
And like I think I read that Spielberg was afraid that it was going to ruin the brand of
Yeah.
Indiana Jones
I think it would have.
because that's
Yeah.
also his,
Especially for
his
that
baby.
time.
Yeah.
He literally also just playing Indiana Jones, but a dinosaur paleontologist.
Yeah.
It would have confused people. I
Oh,
think.
totally.
And then Kurt Russell. That would have been great.
That would have been cool. Would have been more guns.
Water.
Yeah, exactly. He would have just been rocking the shotgun
He'd
the whole
had a
time.
crossbow and a
A
shotgun.
little bit longer hair,
Yeah.
flowing hair.
Also, in an alternate reality, we'd have Jim Carrey as Dr. Malcolm.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah,
not too far off because I don't know if you guys have seen Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, they were. I would say they're both in that, and
They're Jeff Goldblum and Jim Carrey,
And Carrey,
are both,
really?
are both in this, and Damon Wayans.
Wow.
Recommend it. It's funny. It's
Damn.
old. Gina Davis. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll have to watch it.
yeah, Earth Girls Are Easy. It's pretty
yeah,
good.
it's like a meme that was going around when Avatar 2 dropped. Was just like, Mom, I want to go see Avatar 2, and it's like, no, we have Avatar 2 at home, and it's like a shot of sexy ass Jeff Goldblum in blue paint, like seducing Gina Davis in a bra, like she's just in a bra kind of thing. And it's just like, oh. This is not my Avatar. What happened? And then just to round out alt cast, Gwyneth Paltrow again, dude. Gwen turns down everything too. She's like almost cast in everything.
That's
She would
wild.
have been in her teens.
I know.
Was that for Ellie?
So these people
Yeah.
turned him down, which
Whoa.
means that if
No.
they didn't turn him down,
I know. I don't like that.
No.
It would've been a
Laura
whole
Dern
different
was the
movie.
best.
Yeah.
Robin Wright, Julia Binoche, and Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt, I could see because I get Helen Hunt
Yeah.
and freaking.
Well, they did Twister just
Yeah.
right after this. So.
Twister.
That's another good
Yeah,
one.
I get Helen Hunt and Lena Dunham confused, or
Yeah.
Durham. Jesus Christ, different person.
Yeah.
I get them confused all the time. And then last one I have is Sean Connery
Yes.
was considered for the role of John Hammond.
I saw that too.
Would have been overpowered, but his Scottish accent would have stuck around.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean Connery.
I know. I do
That's
love
one thing that what's his name couldn't quite pull off,
Yeah.
despite being from the
I
UK.
do love. I do love Attenborough being like, well, I was Scottish. Like he just keeps dropping in and out of.
Yeah, he forgets from line to line.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny to watch.
Also, I didn't realize until like a friend of mine at work was like, I mentioned we were going to do Jurassic Park. And he's like, oh yeah, dude, Richard Attenborough's in that. And I was like, no. And then it was just like, I was like, oh wait, no, that is Richard Attenborough. David Attenborough is
David
like,
Attenborough
and then
is
it was
the
like one of those like,
documentarian, yeah.
oh my God, they're brother? Like
Wait a
I
minute.
had no idea.
Can you tell me this? I don't know about this.
Oh yeah, so David Attenborough is like,
I know David Attenborough,
he's
Planet
yeah.
Earth.
Planet Earth,
Yeah,
all of that.
exactly.
Yeah, consider the mongoose.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, exactly. So the creepy old billionaire in this, that's his brother.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
Yeah.
his younger brother. Yeah.
Mind blown right now.
Also, mind blown that's his younger brother because this is like 93,
Wow.
and he's like he's still like in his
So I
70s.
have a little side shoot, Dad, about David Attenborough. I was watching this YouTube video of him, and he's talking about this cacti,
Yeah.
and just like maybe a few months ago, and he's like, "This is the most rarest cacti in all of the planet." And he's like, and it looks so similar to this cacti I have out in our front yard, like dead on. I was like, dead. And so I'm like, no way. And he's like, and ours is called pincushion. And I'm thinking like, if he says the name of our cactus, and he's like, it's called a pincushion. I'm freaking out. I was like, babe, we have David Attenborough's cacti.
We're gonna take this thing up and sell it right now.
Exactly.
Seriously, dude.
So we just went out there and stared at it for a long time, like, wow, that's a pincushion, huh?
Interesting. I never knew that. That's funny.
It was like I was hiking in Armstrong Woods like a year or two ago, and there was like these two people just like in frog crouch positions, just like eyeballing this tiny, like insignificant purple flower. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was just like, oh, we're in the woods, they're on mushrooms, was my initial thought. But then they're like, oh, like, I'm like, what's up? Like, is there like a cool newt or something? What's going on? Like, I don't see anything. And they're like, no, this is like forget what type, it was like some type of wildflower. And it's like, this is one of the rarest flowers in all of California.
Wow.
And it's right here and all this. And I was like, oh, cool. It was like the most generic, like purple wildflower you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh, it looks like a weed, but
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all are having a great time.
Yeah, exactly.
Only here.
Yeah.
Any hike, you're going to find people like that. Do you see that bird?
See that bird? It's the most rarest bird in the world.
You should be a dinosaur.
But yeah, that's what I got for my alt casting and fun facts. You got anything else, Luke, you want to throw in?
No, I didn't do a whole ton of research on this. I just had a lot of fun watching it.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
And realizing how ingrained in society this entire movie is.
Yeah. Totally.
If you ever can't sleep and you want a good YouTube watch, look up the behind the scenes of the fucking T-Rex Jeep scene.
I've studied the visual effects of this quite a bit.
Like, but this was like, it's like months of energy and time put into this thing. And then because Spielberg had to have it rain in that scene for effect, they never tested it with water.
Yeah.
So it's like it's malfunctioning the whole time, and they have to like literally in between takes they're like patting it dry with towels.
Oh my god! And then raining on it
Yeah.
again. Oh my god!
And then also it literally almost killed the children because it's it's like 6 tons. Like it's this giant piece of mechanical ingenuity.
Because they actually did that shot.
Yeah, they're
with
literally
the actual
dropping it
actors,
on the kids. Yeah. And it was just one of those where it's like, well, it's wet and it's not working. And so it came down a little too fast. And like, luckily they were able to stop it in time though. So like some of those screams, like,
That's why it looks
are
so
very
real.
real.
That's why it looks so real. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Pull her up.
Mr. Spielberg, I'm 7. No, please don't kill me.
Yeah, seriously.
Next up, we have the usual suspects, actors and crew from previous reviewed films. I got 2 easy ones. I don't know if you went too deep on this, Luke.
I got tired from the last one, so I didn't
Hell
go too
yeah.
deep on this
Okay,
one.
we'll keep it short and sweet. Just 2 easy ones. I've got Phil Tippett, who supervised the dinosaur animations and animatronics. He's a fucking god. But also, he did the stop motion in Howard the Duck. Yep. And then Michael Crichton, who wrote the novel, also wrote the novel E.R., which Steven Spielberg passed on. And because he passed on it, it became a television show. Spielberg later was like, no, I got my name attached to this. We're gonna so he got money out of ER no matter what.
Yeah.
Like he had like some kind of touch in there. But if it wasn't a TV show, we wouldn't have sweet baby George Clooney. Who directed and starred in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which we just did.
I've got a really random weird one just because I looked at the list of actors on IMDb. There's a very short scene of like the ship's captain talking on the phone. You only see him through the TV monitor.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
No.
It's Dean Cundey,
Oh.
the cinematographer from Back to the Future and
Weird.
like hundreds of other movies.
Wow.
I feel like you guys just did Back to the Future too.
We did.
Right?
We did. Yeah. That's our link. It's like Dean Cundey was. Yeah. He's like, why?
He's a friend of Steven's.
Yeah. He's just a friend. Like showed up on set. He's not even on camera. He's on camera of a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meta.
Wow.
That's a meta drop.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I got Spielberg. He also did produced Back to the Future and
yeah.
a lot of
He's got his
Lucas stuff.
Yeah, he's got his hand in every goddamn pot. So
Yeah.
Seriously.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Nostalgic Spielberg.
He's going to be a strong through point for
yeah,
that
exactly.
section.
It's like we finally
going
did
forward.
we finally did an official Spielberg movie, so it's just gonna be like, and then Steven Spielberg did this, and then Steven Spielberg did it. Because also like going back to Howard the Duck, like
there are
ILM and all that
secondary
stuff.
links to people on TV shows and stuff, but I didn't bother.
Yeah.
Put them in the sections.
Yeah.
It would go on forever.
Forever.
Nitpicks. Thanks, I hate it. Now's the time to let it out, fellas.
I was gonna say because I don't have any bad scenes, so I've just got like a laundry list of nitpicks.
Are these the problem elements that we're talking about?
Problem elements,
Can
but
be,
also
yeah.
just like it doesn't have to
Plot
be like
holes,
plot
whatever.
holes. It doesn't have to be canceling people. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's no one in this that I found right off the bat that was like, oh, bad man.
Yeah. It's like, oh, Kevin Spacey. Oh, shit.
No, yeah. We haven't done a movie with Jeffrey Jones or Ron Jeremy in a minute, so we've been pretty good.
Nice.
That was one of the usual suspects that I left out.
Oh, really?
Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones?
Yeah.
Aw, burn in hell.
He
Jeff.
worked with he was on another movie with the lawyer guy.
Oh, okay.
So.
Lawyer guy. He's a great actor. I think the rewatching it, which is always like things really stick out. Every decade that goes by and you rewatch these films, you're like, it's like watching Goodfellas again. You're like, God, it's hard.
Like, it hurts a little bit.
There's a lot of canceled things in this movie.
Yeah. It's like, wow, Scorsese just really doesn't like black people.
Scorsese's pretty racist and pretty sexist.
Yeah.
Interesting. But like Spielberg is like, okay, so this is going to be a film about science. and about like history and all of this. So we need at least one Asian character.
Yep.
We need one black person.
Yep.
So there's one Asian character and it's a scientist, and there was one black character and he's like head of security.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like.
Well, there's more than one black character.
Who's the other?
The very first scene.
Oh, the one that dies?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all the other people are Mexican, I
Yeah.
thought, right? Like
They're all South American.
Yeah.
or South America or something.
Or it was supposed to be off Costa Rica, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you're
Central
right.
America, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wrote down as like a problematic element. Is like, oh, the first scene in the first minute,
Shoot
a
her!
person of color just gets killed right away, and then we go right into all the white people acting.
Which I know, like a lot of films, you watch any sort
Especially
of
for that
nostalgic
time,
film
too.
of the 90s or 80s, you're going to
Yeah.
get a lot
Yeah.
of that. But yeah, so the one Asian character, right? He's like King Velociraptor. He's like, everyone's so stupid because they're like, these are Velociraptors. He's all, yeah. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah.
I know, I did love that. I love there's like so many like epiphanies that Dr. Grant has, and everyone's like, yeah, dude, we run a fucking dinosaur park. We don't think we doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Brachiosaurus. Get over it. Like,
Yeah.
we know that's a Brachiosaurus.
There's a lot of scenes like in the kitchen. You know how they do, it's like all about getting those classic Steven Spielberg shots, or whoever's the cinematographer. The name of the cinematographer, I always feel bad, but because he killed it, this movie. But there's a scene where you have like two dinosaur legs, the camera's behind the dinosaur legs, and it's like chasing somebody in front. And even as a kid, I was thinking like, man, these dinosaurs are so slow right now, you know? So like that was like big nitpick, is like whenever there's like a classic dinosaur scene, it's like they're running so fine, and the dinosaurs are like, never gonna catch
Those
up.
two shots are actually human legs.
Ah.
Dinosaur makeup on.
And they just like walk in front of it.
Oh, now I want to like.
Well, that
watch
person's
it.
really slow.
Yeah. Well, kids can only crawl so fast.
They get the shot, but it's like slow dinosaurs.
Yeah.
I thought T-Rexes run 20 miles an hour or something.
38 or something like that.
Pretty
actually,
fast.
precise.
Did you guys catch the hand on the tail?
No.
So at the beginning of the kitchen shot, there's this sweeping track shot that shows the Velociraptor coming through the door, and then it comes down to where the kids are. But before it leaves the dinosaur, you can see a puppeteer's hand grab the tail,
Oh, no.
and like they just left it in.
Oh, I
I missed it.
Yeah,
I love
you'll
all
see it the
those.
next time you watch it.
Yeah, that's
It's
amazing.
great. I love it. It just
I
it's like
love
so
that.
obvious, and it's like a big like, how did y'all miss that for years?
I always love in these old movies where like you see a reflection and it's just one of like the producers on a screen. Like,
Just arms crossed. Yeah. Just like,
And cut.
yeah, exactly.
oh, yeah. Like, from the cold open on, like, right out the gym, like, right out the gate, these motherfuckers are not prepared to handle dinosaurs.
Not at all.
That's one of my biggest critiques is like, you open an entire park and like you guys have like 19 people to cage one of them?
Yeah.
Like, this is a terrible idea. Also, like, how many fucking mosquitoes are preserved in amber? And like, how many did you have to find to fill an amusement park full of different breeds of dinosaurs?
Yeah, seriously.
There's also this well-known thing in the lizard kingdom called parthenogenesis, where animals, lizards, reptiles can procreate by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, duh.
Yeah.
This was gonna happen.
Yeah, especially if you're like a scientist.
I also like when I was watching with my fiance, and like the scene where Dr. Grant explains that, where he was like, looks at the Velociraptor eggs, and he was like, yeah, they can turn from male to female. And we like both looked at each other like, yeah, see, transgender was like here in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
They were bringing it out way ahead.
Oh, so this is back in 65 million years ago.
Yeah.
It's way
This
before
was
that.
happening way before our time.
Yeah.
Exactly. The lizards knew it was a construct right off the gate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We can just do this?
Yeah.
And then another one is, why injure Malcolm and take him out of the movie like
Right away.
right away? Like, you know, I understand he's got to have like his little hero moment and try and save the kids.
It's too much mojo in the way of Sam Neill, man.
That's what that's my one of my hot takes later. But he's the most charismatic actor in the entire fucking movie, and you just have him lounging like with an old man with his with his shirt open, like, wow, I sure hope Dr. Grant's safe. Like just like hanging out, like eating ice cream,
There's
like
that
just chilling.
scene though when he's got he's like legs
Yeah,
all busted
on the couch on the bus, whatever. He's like,
and it's just like zoom, and it's like, God damn.
Turn it down a little bit. Yeah.
if I'm ever gonna be hurt, I'm gonna look like that.
It's like a vampire. He's like,
Yeah. I feel like Jeff Goldblum is your bisexual litmus test. He's just the most sexual being on planet Earth, and so it's like if you don't feel a something, then it's like, okay, let's go.
yeah.
What's
kind of
going
in
on here?
between.
Yeah.
Everyone felt it. That's why he got the second film.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
He got Lost World. He was like lead
Oh,
of
he
Lost
did,
World.
yeah.
Because he was so good in the first.
And then as far as just like nitpicky stuff, like, because not a bad scene in the whole film, honestly. But yeah, you had mentioned it earlier. The like long pan over all of the Jurassic Park merch
Oh god.
was like, it's just like painful. It's a painfully
what's
long.
coming.
Yeah, it's a painfully
Yeah.
long shot of like. Yeah, we got plushies, we got action figures, we got, you like throw pillows? We got throw pillows, we got blankies, we got, it's just going over everything.
I think it's scary watching it now because we had all those things, and back then it's not like our parent. I don't think anybody was watching that being like, "Watch out for the merch."
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, "Buy the merch,
Buy it. Buy
buy
all of
the
it.
merch,
Give him our money.
Oh, it was in the theaters. Like it was ready to buy.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because this is they learned their lesson on Star Wars. Star Wars was just a sci-fi film until it became a merchandise like
Monster.
giant.
Yeah.
And then the second and third films were based on the merch.
Yeah. Because they make
How much
so
they could
much
sell.
money off the
so much
merch,
more
yeah.
than the movies ever did.
Yeah.
Batman 89, Jurassic Park 93. This is the same formula. They had all the merch ready to go, tested, drawn out, printed,
Yeah.
manufactured. Yeah, it was at the movie theaters. You could buy it.
Yeah,
walking
we've
in,
got the
walking out.
toys. You boys come up with a script.
Yeah.
It's one of those where it's like,
exactly.
The other connection was, with Indiana Jones, they had the ride at Universal Studios, right?
Oh yeah.
With The Rock. So it's almost like Steven Spielberg knew. He was like, they're going to make actual rides out of this amusement park.
They started with Back to the Future. So after Back to the Future happened, they kind of just worked in, hey, Disney, we got this new thing coming out with dinosaurs. It's going to be an amazing ride.
Yeah. It's going to be an amazing ride.
Yeah.
Because, Jeff Goldblum says that where he's like, they're running from the T-Rex in the Jeep, and he's like, do you think they're going to have that in the tour?
Yeah.
That is the ride, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just like foreshadowing your money.
And that leads into my one of my final nitpicks is the T-Rex chase of Malcolm, Ellie, and Muldoon. So all of the effects hold up in this movie.
Yeah.
Except for that one. It's like they get the clunkiest image of a T-Rex.
They
Like
do.
you see him in the rear view mirror. I guess maybe because it's a night scene. I guess is the argument is like maybe they just didn't have the
that's-
shading on it and the lighting correctly.
Yeah, they didn't have ray tracing back then like we have now. And it's also the jump is because it goes from practical to digital.
Exactly.
That's why it stands out
You
so
can
much.
definitely see it right there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also like, it's supposed to be like one of the most tense scenes where you're like, oh my God, like these three main characters are going to get eaten. And you're like, look at the big stupid cartoon. You're just like, it takes you out. Like every other like bit, even like when there's like some kind of slightly dated CGI, like you're just like, oh, you buy it. You're like, fine. But that one right there, I think it is just because it is.
In the theater, it was real. It was,
You're talking about while they're in the Jeep?
Yeah, while they're in
looking
the Jeep.
mirror.
Yeah, and
Malcolm's
he's,
like
on the
playing
back
with his
legs
chest,
up.
like, ooh, I wonder if that's going to be in the ride, kind of thing.
Must go faster.
Must go faster. Must go faster. Yeah.
So what's interesting is that the objects in mirrors are closer than they appear or whatever.
Yeah.
That was in so many movies had that
Yeah.
reflection. Like even Toy Story had
Yeah.
like the dinosaur scene. Like it was just instant cult classics.
Yeah. It's true.
Added to everything.
It's true.
Sometimes you don't need good graphics, I guess, right? It just lands.
Yeah.
Well, they were good at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
we're
They
going to
are
see.
still pretty good.
I like them.
Dude, a movie from 1993 that still can be like watchable, where you're like, oh, well, that still looks kind of scary. I'm like, you did great.
And
Oh, this is-
and it was the movie they invented these things for too.
Yeah.
It's not like they had a run up to do it.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
where the start of it happened. So
Exactly.
it's like it's still pretty dang good.
Yeah.
No, if you
seriously.
put this up against like fucking, oh God, like 2002 Green Lantern or something like
Yeah.
that, and it's like, no, dude, like Jurassic Park still holds up.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, then you were going over how much money they put into it. It's like, oh, you can see it too.
Yeah.
They chose their battles too. There's the whole reason all that stuff happens at night in the rain is to help the effects.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
Rain does well for
Yep.
everything.
Ready for the next ad break?
Yeah.
Let's do it. And we're back with Act 3, the awards categories.
Yeah. Who won the movie?
Dude, I
I
think,
think
it's
we've
obvious.
we've all been saying it. Ellie. No. I want to give it to one of the two female roles.
No, I think it's Goldblum, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. Jeff
I
Goldblum.
strangely wrote down the same thing.
I have Goldblum as my runner-up.
Oh.
I have a three-way little award for Stan Winston, Phil Tippett, and Dennis Muren. Because the fucking dinosaurs win this movie.
That's true. Yeah, that's not a
Because,
bad take.
Yeah, Stan Winston was like the dude who built all of the animatronics and the practicals. Phil Tippett basically almost lost the job because he was going to do like some super rad stop motion and stuff like that. And then Dennis Muren was like, well, what if we just did like some CGI models? And everyone laughed at him. And Steven's like, here's like $1 million to play with. Go see what you can do, kid. And then that guy came back with like the fucking dinosaurs in the movie. And Phil Tippett's like, like he literally said, "Oh, I'm extinct." And that's a line that Jeff Goldblum says at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll give it to those three because like they kept Phil on. He did all the like gnarly, like as I said, he was doing like weird demonic dinosaur shit until they brought on like a real paleontologist who's like, they don't spit fire, so we can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, those three, yeah, the effects still hold up today.
Totally.
But no, Goldblum's
Definitely
damn
Jeff
peak.
Goldblum.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I think that's why they gave him the second film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because his career like boomed from this role.
yeah.
I didn't really know of any film before that he was in of this.
Earth Girls Are Easy, The Fly.
Yeah, The Fly.
Yeah, not much A-level stuff.
Yeah,
but
Buckaroo
this
Banzai.
This
He was
kinda
like-
did push him up there. Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing fun, like quirky cult shit and like weird sex comedies and stuff, basically right before this.
Yeah.
I wonder how he landed this then.
Throw him into a family film because he's just
probably
like
amazing, yeah.
the
He's
casting
amazing.
matters.
Walking
Yeah.
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
it's just dripping zaddy energy. Just like, yeah.
Everything he's ever been in after too is just like God, Goldblum.
Yeah.
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 My new band name, memorable quotes or references that would make a cool, edgy band name, and what genre would they be?
Yeah, this
This is my favorite category.
is a good category.
I don't think this one we're going to continue to retool and change awards and do things as the show progresses, but I don't think this one's ever going away.
This one's
No, this
sticking
one's
around.
fun.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have some maybe similar ones.
Possibly,
Maybe
yeah.
some run-ins.
Yeah, we do sometimes. You guys want to go ahead?
Yeah, Zachary.
I didn't write anything. You have to go for it.
So I have two. The first one I came up with was this is like an old 1950s rock band called the Velociraptors.
Okay.
You know,
Nice.
just because most bands in the 50s were
We're
like,
just like that
the
basic.
blank.
Yeah,
the
the blank.
this.
Sounds like surf rock.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The Velociraptors. And then another band name I had was Clever Girl, which is
I had Clever Girl too.
really all girl punk band,
Nice.
punk rock
I
band.
think
Yeah,
I think it actually is one now.
is it really?
I think so.
Clever Girl.
Yeah, I had them as like a garage rock band.
Punk girls.
I thought a cool band name would be like Females Rule the World from that one quote where they're going over like God created dinosaurs.
That's what
man
Ellie
kills
says.
dinosaurs. Yeah, and then females rule the world at the end.
Woman inherits Earth. Is
Woman,
what it is.
yeah,
And
something
that's
like that.
I have that as a femme singer-songwriter
Yeah.
kind of act. But yeah, the quote is, God makes dinosaurs, God kills dinosaurs, man makes dinosaurs, dinosaurs kill man. And then Ellie comes in with, woman inherits Earth.
Yeah, it's a great line.
What else you got, Jack?
Oh, I got a lot, so strap in. I've got Death by Dilophosaurus. They'd be an early 2000s like dance punk band, kind of like Death from Above or Pretty Girls Make Graves. Like it'd be like a and then someone would just come in with squelchy like, hey, 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 hey. Like some yeah kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I've got Working Things Out. They'd be a Strokes era indie band. It's in reference to when the raptors are feeding. When it's like they lower the goat in the cage and everyone's like just like, oh shit. And then like Muldoon's like finishing a cigarette and he's like, oh, she's working things out. Line I never caught as a kid. Autoerotic animatronics. They'd be a very loop pedal heavy like psych rock band.
Yeah.
I don't have his name, but the like auditor, the insurance guy, he's like, are all these characters autoerotic?
Yeah.
And then
that was a good slip,
Dr.
yeah.
Hammond had to be like, the term is animatronic, and no. This one's a little like trigger warning-y. Discovery Whistle. They would be an arena EDM, like, kind of like festival, just like, oh yeah, dude, like, we're seeing Odessa, Discovery Whistle, it's gonna be great.
Sounds like a festival.
Yeah, but the quote is, discovery is the rape of the natural world, which is one of the like, lines. Like I said, dude, Goldblum hits. Like all of whoever wrote his dialogue, they were like, okay, we must give the sexy dripping man like everything that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Speaking of Goldblum, we have the Chaositicians. They'd be a math rock band. Because again, he gets introduced and it's like, oh, this is my friend. He's a mathematician. He's like, I'm more of a chaositician. just like, oh boy. Okay. Yeah, that's what I got. And then I had, Woman Inherits Earth, female singer-songwriter. And then I had Clever Girl, as well.
I have
Not bad.
I have Coulda Shoulda. It'd be a 90s synthwave band.
Totally.
Yeah.
I have Living Lunch, the brutal death metal band.
Nice.
That's in reference.
Living lunch.
Living lunch.
It's in reference to the Raptor speech at the beginning. It's like, "You're still alive." Walter.
right.
Yeah.
And then Hammond in the helicopter says this about Goldblum. This other band name is called Excess of Personality.
Hell yeah.
I really can't stand that man.
And there'd be a glam rock like Kiss.
Hell yeah.
Brilliant.
Updated movie title.
Doesn't need one.
I came up with a pretty funny one.
Hit us.
If we did Jurassic Park with a question mark.
Is it? You watch the movie and find out. 2 seconds in, it's like, yeah, you were right. It sure is Jurassic Park.
I feel like today there's so many documentaries, so it'd be like a climate change documentary. This is like Jurassic Park, a story about climate change. And
Love
it's the
it.
same film, but it's all just tied in with like modern documentary climate change.
Yeah,
David
and
Attenborough.
it has David Attenborough in the background.
Yeah, it's just a climate change story.
Love it.
It was hard to come up with different titles for it though.
Yeah.
It always is.
It's just so ubiquitous. Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those.
Every now and again we get some good
Yeah.
ones, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
usually don't need it.
I had Prehistoric Park, and then just because I fucking love alliteration. But Javi touched on it last episode. Like, if this movie actually was made today, it would literally just be The Park.
The park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, everything is just, like,
It has to be
simplistic and sexy. Yeah,
It'd just be park.
exactly.
There is a horror trailer recut of this movie out there somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We have the Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award for cinematography.
Yep.
I got 3. I don't know if anyone wants to go first.
I got one. One that really stood out to me. There's hundreds in this movie. Jeff Goldblum lying after he's injured. He's lying on the Jeep. Mm-hmm. The second time they show the impact ripples is in the dinosaur track in the water, and Goldblum's reflection is in it.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Hollywood shot behind Tim leading into the sick Triceratops. So, like, Hollywood shot is like in old school westerns when you have, like, you know, you just focus on like Clint Eastwood's ass and his pistols as he walks into town kind of thing. But they do that with the little boy as he's like walking through the tall grass. Like, you see just like his hips and his thighs, and then like he steps to the left, and it's the first time you see a Triceratops.
The reveal.
Yeah. And then these are just like kind of more like cutting, I guess, more editing than actual cinematography. But the Muldoon's, I know we talked about how cheesy the opening is, but the shot of Muldoon's eye, like match cut with the Velociraptors, like they have like, when you don't see the Velociraptor yet, it's just like, yeah, it's like his like sweat dripping brow. And then you see like one little like snake eye like through the cage, and then you see his eye again. Like, yeah, beautiful. And then just because it's just a great like frame. The raptor snort fogging up the porthole
I was
of the
going to
window.
say that too.
Yeah.
Because it's all kind of connections to that first scene where they show
Exactly.
the two eyes, and then like the whole film has these fog on the window like twice in that like kitchen scene that never ends. Because then they open the door handle, and it's like up here, and you're like, oh my god. I was gonna say the whole opening scene with the helicopter going. And I think they filmed it in Kauai.
It's Kauai. The whole island is Kauai.
Yeah,
That's where
so
they
like
filmed it.
Tourist Trap went back. Like Hawaii just blew up from this film, right? Everyone wanted to go to Dinosaur Island, but like following so a helicopter's following the helicopter, right, to get that shot.
Yeah.
And it's just like so beautiful.
Yeah.
Seeing that, that was like epic for me as a kid. And then you know the scene where the three of them, you have Dr. Grant and the kids, and they're in that huge open field, and there's like those mountains in the background, and then they get the stampede, and they're like running from the stampede, and the shot's like really low as they're like that's like, you see that so many times in like movie like collection like shots. There's like that shot of them, and they're like the dinosaurs. I just like, yeah, that shot's so good.
Yeah, it was very like Fellowship of the Ring.
So
when
Fellowship.
Frodo's hiding from the wraiths. Like,
Yeah.
That's definitely Peter Jackson definitely stole that one.
Yeah, definitely really good.
Is that Channing Tatum in a dog collar?
I thought that was great.
Yeah,
Keep this one.
awarded to an actor with an unexpected cameo or bit part. I got
Samuel L. Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
Yeah, Sam Jackson. I was gonna say I have Samuel L. Jackson as Arnold because every time I rewatch this, I forget he's in it.
Same.
And I'm like, oh, Samuel.
Managed not to curse.
Yeah, he's so reserved too.
So
Yeah.
He's cursing internally. That's what.
You just say like, God damn it,
Motherfucker.
Get these steaks off this plane.
yeah. No,
And then
Samuel
Wayne
Jackson.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like another, I don't know, character actor.
Yeah. I mean, he probably just, got the Seinfeld curse, kind of like Jason Alexander. Like, probably didn't really, everyone's just like, oh, Newman. And he's like, no, but like, I want to be in more things. Nah, you're Newman. So, yeah.
Dude, I looked up his IMDb when I was watching this, and I didn't realize that man is still a diehard working actor that is in like 4 films a year. He takes maybe 2 years off here and there, but since like for the last 40 years, he has been in film. Like, he's a hard working actor.
Oh, Nate's got, dude, Wayne Knight's got to eat, man.
There's free food on set.
Yeah.
We've got it's a sailboat award. What are the themes or bigger messages the director's trying to convey?
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty fucking on the nose.
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious.
It's somewhat timely too with the submarine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very timely.
100%.
We see a lot of what's his name?
James Cameron.
No.
James
he's
Cameron must
alive.
be
No,
stopped.
you mean the one the billionaire that just died from it?
Yeah. Rush. Stanton Rush. If you watch any of his videos, he looks just like Hammond.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
All the hubris of like, I know what I'm doing. I don't need safety
Yeah.
precautions.
Yeah.
I'm a billionaire. I know what everything's doing.
Bullshit.
No, that's kind of what I had. We need to unify and stop these billionaires from jeopardizing us all with their hobbies.
Yeah.
I wrote, like what's stopping like Musk or Bezos from bringing some shit back from space that they shouldn't?
Seriously.
Like, I went
was
on one of my
that?
trips. I found this cool rock with goo in it.
What was that?
Something got on my arm.
Something got on my arm.
Exactly.
Something's happening.
I'm growing these teeth.
It's like
I've
that
never
one
had.
movie with, I think it's Ryan Reynolds. Is it Reynolds? Oh, maybe it's not.
What movie?
Where it's like a newer alien movie where they go up and the alien is just like this goop ball.
Yeah, I think it is Ryan Reynolds, and they're
But
in the space station.
Yeah. What is it called?
I don't know.
Did not see
Probably
it. Don't know.
Extinction.
It was actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
The dangers of playing God, right? By
Yeah,
bringing
exactly.
extinct creatures back to life. The scientists in the film overstep natural boundaries. I mean, there's a lot of talk on genetic modification, especially like in foods, right? No, don't eat that. It's genetically modified. But really, genetically modified is like much more simpler than that. I guess, than what's
Don't
made out
splice
to be.
frogs into your food.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
the big lesson.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
takeaway.
Just lick the venom.
Yeah. Just look at the venom, see what happens.
I also had capitalism and exploitation, because I mean that's what we're talking about, right? It's like everything about this film is billions of dollars. And it's like one man's money. Like from the jump when he goes to their excavation like spot out in the desert, and they're all like, "Who's the idiot?" And immediately he's like treated as a god. He has his helicopter. And it's like, "I'll pay for everything. You guys can come for free." And they're
Yeah.
like,
It's pouring champagne in 11.
He's like,
Didn't
"We're
ask
supposed to
anybody.
save." He's like, "We're supposed to save that." And he's like, "Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, darling, I'll buy you 9 cases of Cristal. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Kind
gonna
of
be
thing.
just
Yeah.
fine."
Oh,
Yeah.
That is maybe one nitpick I have is I forgot that the Sam Neill character was just bought and paid for
Yeah.
for the
yeah.
whole movie
Yeah.
up until the end.
What you're doing is evil. Never mind. I endorse the part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get funding for 3 years.
Exactly.
All right, you're cool.
Yeah. And their funding is only $50,000 a year. It's like, oh, you guys are paid pretty low.
For the excavation, yeah.
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 Like, I'll cover you the next 3 years. It's like,
Yeah.
junk change for him.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
We have the Hans Gruber Death Fall Award, awarded to villains with satisfying death scenes.
I'll be so surprised if we don't all have the same one.
The lawyer's death on the toilet.
Yeah.
Really?
Gennaro hiding in the bathroom is my number 1, but my number 2 is probably what you're thinking.
I was going to say Wayne Knight, man.
Yeah, Wayne Knight's my number 2.
Oh, I actually have a completely different one.
Oh.
It's not a villain necessarily, but Muldoon
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say Muldoon is a good one.
getting taken out by the Velociraptor.
because when I was first starting, I was like, oh, Muldoon for sure. But then I realized he's not much of a villain in this
No, he-
movie.
No, not really.
He's like
Yes.
he's a hero.
Yeah.
He's like, they should all be dead. Yeah. He makes those lines where we shouldn't have a park. He's always pissed.
It's also like, how did you get this job?
Yeah.
He's such a badass.
It was more of a satisfying death scene for me. 'Cause
Yeah.
He actually explained this whole scenario and then he just walked into it.
Right.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Clever girl. It was a good. Him like when I was a kid watching him run into the bathroom, I used to feel so scared for him because that would be me. You know, I'd be like, I have to shit right now.
My IBS.
What would you do if you had to shit? You die.
Yeah.
It's over for him. And then you realize his shorts are on. He's just hiding.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's just sitting on the toilet.
Also, yeah, Goldblum, he speaks to the fragility of life. Because Sam Neill's like, what is that man doing? He's like, well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. You gotta go. Which, both ways there. Like when you gotta use bathroom, but also
Everything
when
he
your time
says,
is up, baby.
Yeah.
Your time is up.
Yeah,
Sometimes you gotta get eaten by the T-Rex.
He really does have those lines. Life finds a way.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we've been over it a couple times. But yeah, the fucking... I don't care what I do in life. I don't want to get stabbed and I don't want to get acid poured in my eyes. Those are like my two goals. So yeah, Nedry's death with the fucking blinding and then the Jeep assault is just... Ugh.
Yeah.
Not nasty
So good.
Jeep assault. The Jeep was moving when he's getting
I know.
Yeah.
Controversial hot takes. What would make someone rewatch this movie with a different point of view? I
tried to come up with something clever, but it didn't land.
Pay your staff what they're worth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that is the
there's
big
that.
one, because like Nedry would not have sabotaged the park. None of this shit would have happened if he was just properly compensated.
Yeah.
That's
like
not-
if he's the
yeah.
only fucking coder for this massive park.
Yeah.
He's
Way overworked.
He's the reason why the locks and lights work.
Yeah.
In a park with monsters.
Yeah.
And you're being like, you're cutting corners with that guy. You're like, no, you've been compensated. Like, and it's like, no, dude, like that guy, he is keeping the spooky scaries in the park. Like, you need to pay that man.
Yeah. Or give him some stock or something.
Exactly. Do something. Because
Yeah.
that's also like, he literally says that like when he's meeting with the dude and like, I think they meet in Costa Rica or something like that.
Where
He's
he
like,
puts the shaving cream on
Yeah.
top of the cake. Yeah.
exactly. He's literally just like, yeah, he's like, you're lucky Hammond's such a fucking tightwad, or otherwise like I totally wouldn't do this. Like, it makes it sound like, yeah, if I was being compensated, I'm kind of happy with this gig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, pay your people what
Pay your people what they're
It's a
worth.
good one.
It was also like watching it from the zoo mentality, right? Everyone goes to zoos now. You have like SeaWorld, and there's all this like hate towards SeaWorld and everything. But yeah, actually looking at these dinosaurs as just poor little creatures that were brought back after they were supposed to be extinct just for our enjoyment.
Exactly.
It's like it didn't take long for them to be like, well, we hate this shit. I think that all the time when I'm at a zoo. Like you see a giraffe or an elephant and you're like, at some point, if they just all were like, we're done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'd be Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the park was a terrible idea from the jump. Like, also, like, Hammond, the fact that he gets to make, like, 2 more little, like, movies. Hammond should have been imprisoned for gene splicing and clone.
That's also the most accurate part of this film is that the billionaire white guy who, like, all these people die under his name, he just gets slapped with a silly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's another island, though. We want you to try again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, okay, I'll just pay the $10 billion fine and move on.
We're going to put locks on him this time.
Yeah. Is it time for another Spider-Man award? Do we need a remake?
I just wrote down, please stop.
Yeah, that's kind of, I was like,
I
no.
said they need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just talk? Have you seen the new ones?
No.
I saw the first one. I saw Jurassic World.
Yeah,
I
So you
haven't seen
saw
any other
Chris
ones.
Pratt.
Yeah.
One time.
Do you like Chris Pratt as being this like the new Indiana Jones, the new Grant?
I think he should have stopped with Mouse Rat. That's how I feel about Chris Pratt. Like, I'm just not like, he's fine in Parks and Rec, but like, he's fine. He's one of those, like, it's the same thing of like when we tried to make John Krasinski like a fucking
Everything.
bearded action star. I'm like, but why?
He did great in The Office. Leave it that
him
way,
alone.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, you want to branch out, you want to show your range and stuff like that, but it's also like, no, we don't need Chris Pratt as Mario. This is a terrible fucking idea.
God damn, I know. They just rinse and repeat with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I agree. He's not a great Grant.
No. No, they need to stop making more.
But I loved the first one so much. As a kid, I watched the first 3. I was actually really scared of Lost World, but Jeff Goldblum's great in it. He's more of a dad character in the second one, so he's like a little bit less like, over the top sexy, like mischievous. He's more like grounded and has a kid now. So now he's the one with the kid who was like freaking out.
I also love in the second one, they kind of just like, they take one of his throwaway lines and they make an entire movie out of that.
That's right. Yeah.
Because there's like a bit where he's like, yeah, chaos theory, baby. Like, I got like fucking 9 ex-wives and like probably 6 kids. I don't give a shit. Chaos theory, baby. And then like the second movie is like, oh yeah, chaos theory. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
I actually, I paid child support. I really should be in this woman's life. Fuck.
And it's a woman of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, he does have a lot of wives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets around.
He's got a past life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be kind. Please rewind a word. Good or bad? Is it worth a rewatch? Is it something you'd recommend to someone who hasn't seen it?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Again and again
watch.
and again.
Yeah, it's like one of the best summer blockbusters we have.
Oh,
I would
totally.
argue. Like if you were gonna make a ranking of like the top 10 ever, it's in like 2 or 3 or 1.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It is.
It's a great balance of action, horror, humor,
Yeah.
And yeah, characters, just great characters all around.
Great casting. The acting is pretty phenomenal. The whole film.
Except for Hammond's accent.
Yeah, Hammond's is pretty bad. It kind of goes, if it's like, I think we already talked about
But luckily,
English,
he's not
Scottish,
in
all
all of the
over.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the Neil Breen Struggle for Relevance Award. Is this movie and its themes relevant today? Well, yeah, they're still fucking making them, so it's still very relevant. And also the theme of, for the love of God, please don't open a theme park filled with barely contained clone monsters, I think is very relevant. Let's not do that.
I wrote maybe if they had more laptops, they could have saved some more people.
Yeah, that too.
True.
Neil Breen would have approved, I think.
If he would have thrown his money into fucking Apple instead of DTS, you know?
Yeah.
Park.
Dumbass.
The rainy day pairing, the best double feature for this movie for you guys.
I said Jurassic Park and Jaws. Just because they're
Right.
two,
Interesting.
if you want to do like a Steven Spielberg,
Yeah.
and then you already made that connection of how like Steven Spielberg did Jaws. It was such a magical hit. So he was like, we got to do more animatronic animals, monsters. And I feel like he just kind of brought.
Yeah, I thought we would have learned his lesson after the shark, like the way it broke down all the hell.
Oh
put
yeah,
him
all
through.
of that hill. Yeah, all that shit.
Nope, he's
No, he's a white man with an ego, Luke.
was a white rich man.
He's got money, Luke. He doesn't have time for lessons.
Yeah, I thought those were two. I don't know.
I got Tombstone.
Oh,
Trying-
wild.
I'm trying to remember why, but it was like came out near the same time, probably like 6 months later.
Okay.
But I watched both of these in Hawaii. So it's
Okay,
like,
okay. I was like,
that's-
where's the link with this?
Yeah. I was trying to think, just like I just put myself back at the time and like remembered what movie I watched near this. It was Tombstone.
I tried to think of something that had the same kind of energy and like slight family friendliness too. Jumanji.
There you go.
The first Jumanji with
Yes.
Robin Williams.
I do
yeah.
like that one. I remember that one
That's
fondly.
such a good movie.
Like, I think it's very much kind of in the same vein of like, yeah, just utter chaos with, uncontained creatures.
Have
Yeah,
you guys done that
kids
one
and-
yet on here?
We have not. I would
That's
love
a
to-
great
We're going to do
nostalgic
Jumanji.
film, dude.
We just have like every episode, we just build the laundry list basically. That's the problem with the show too.
It just opens up more and more.
Yeah, it's just like,
endless
oh.
content.
We're
Yeah.
never going to run out of content.
Oh,
Nah.
no, that's the great part about it.
No.
Exactly.
We need to set up more teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
For more shows.
Start your corporation.
Got episode 596 today. We're talking about the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
like
This
it's
is
just
Team
never gonna
Bravo
stop.
3
How nice would
Exactly.
it be just to be the hosts? And that's it. No editing.
if we got paid for it. Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah,
right. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That's where those lovely sponsors come in. You too can be a sponsor.
Yeah.
And
I just put Space Jam. That's just because that's the
Same
only
time,
movie.
yeah.
That's the same time. That's the only movie that I knew Wayne Knight from at the time.
That's right.
And so
Yeah,
I
too.
just went, and that's what I did that day when I rewatched it. I was like, I'm just gonna throw Space Jam on, and it was just really funny to watch his character kind of be the same character.
Yeah.
Where it's like this
typecasting.
wild man just right there. It's like, oh goodness.
Yeah. You probably think that too because those were one of the films we had that we could watch.
I know.
It's like Jurassic Park, Space Jam.
Yeah.
What was the one with another Robin Williams with like the green goo on his shoe?
oh, Flubber.
Nutty Professor.
Flubber was endless.
God, dude. Yeah.
Went to high school with the Flubber kid. It's
Really?
a weird fun fact. Yeah,
Wow.
he's a little younger than me. But yeah.
Where in town? Or where'd you go?
I went to high school at Healdsburg High. And yeah, his name is Ben Brock. But
Wow.
he's like the little kid who's like, yeah, just like, well, what are we doing? And I'm like, wow, this green stuff's on me. Yeah.
Oh man, I lost myself, Flubber.
It's a good one.
It is.
Yeah. Tried to distance himself from it, which is like, I would never have done that. I'd been like, hey, no, I'm the Flubber kid.
You have nothing else to be known for. I guess.
Exactly.
Hey, you worked with Robin Williams?
I know.
Be happy.
We have the Sonic Death Monkey Top 5, a made-up list of deep emotional, esoteric relevance to the subject of the film. For this week's question, we have, what are your top 5 movies with special effects that still hold up?
And this could be from any time.
Anytime, yeah.
Anytime.
So unfortunately, I was still thinking 90s and 80s.
No, no,
it's
that's fine. I think that's a stronger connection.
Yeah.
I think if you're like, fucking Fast and the Furious 9, like
Yeah.
that's like...
The most
cheat.
recent Star Wars.
Exactly. I think that's cheating.
Avatar 2.
Yeah.
So I put Empire Strikes Back.
Definitely.
When I think of like this, so like when I've seen Star Wars so many times that like New Hope and I'm pretty sure Empire Strikes Back, that was still all animatronics. There wasn't much CGI.
There's a lot, but I'm gonna ask: are you talking about the original or the remastered?
the original.
Okay. I'm late to the Star Wars game, even though I worked with people who worked on the movies
Right.
before I even watched the movies. But I started out with the remastered ones, and I went back to rewatch the originals, and I could see everything.
Oh yeah.
I was like, geez, guys.
You're saying like the remaster was bad.
The little, the original's bad.
Okay,
like
right.
The little, I could see all the little blocks they used to move the little pieces around.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
so if you rewatch the originals on VHS, though, you can't see shit.
Not much. Yeah.
You're just
I
like,
admit that. It's better.
The tracking's all off too.
Yeah.
This just might be, I just think that, like, for me, I'm just kind of screwed because I think Star Wars, the originals, are just so perfect. You could do no wrong. I'm just one of those people.
Sure.
But there's so many connections to, like, Star Wars and Jurassic Park and like
it's
the
all
combination
ILM.
of like when you see the dinosaurs that are animatronic versus the ones that are full CGI, like even in Jurassic Park, they like the animatronic ones are so scary and the eyes they move and dilate and you're
I know.
damn.
That was something I wrote down when I was taking notes. I was like, they got the fucking pupils to dilate. That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's pretty cool.
I imagine it's a Phil Tippett touch. That's kind of what he's known for, is getting the gross realism
It works
of
really
the
well.
animals in it. Yeah.
I mean, Pearl Harbor, I think, is early 2000s,
Yeah,
maybe.
that counts.
Fantastic graphics, those explosions
Yeah.
and like the planes mixed. Yeah, that just film blows me away when it comes to graphics that stand up.
That and Saving Private Ryan too. Saving Private Ryan had great graphics for its time.
Yeah.
I think that was a little later.
I thought it was in the 19.
No, that's like late 2000s, I think.
Is it?
That was 98.
It's like
98?
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Spielberg's other
Spielberg's
venture.
other.
Yeah, I even connected the
The
directors.
90s, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
Wow.
they actually did it in 96, 97, and it came out in 98. So it's
That's incredible. Spielberg is insane.
Yeah, he is.
Toy Story.
Toy Story. First
For
one.
for graphics?
Yeah. Because it's like it's supposed to be a cartoon.
It only shows up if you hold them next to each other.
Yeah.
If you start watching Toy Story 1, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is itself. And as the computers get better, you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. It's a good movie.
Yeah. But I mean, for the time, it was just amazing. And so I think it still holds. Matrix.
Sure.
For sure.
I mean, they broke boundaries.
Yeah, I keep learning new things about how they made that all the time. And it's stuff we use today.
Yeah.
You know, just flippantly. Like, oh yeah, I got that plug-in for free.
Oh, right.
But they like painstakingly, like they used photogrammetry and they took pictures of the set, brought it into 3D so that they could put it in the movie and do what they wanted with it. So
Fucking crazy.
never done before. It was awesome.
It's funny when you bring up like things you can download offline, and it was like the bullet effect in the Matrix, where it was like the rippling.
Yeah.
And it was like I learned how to do that.
Didn't you try to do that when you made that video movie in high school for your class or whatever?
Yeah,
I remember
for Halo.
you using that like glitch
I
effect
made
or whatever.
a movie off the book Halo
Yeah.
because I loved Halo so much. I wanted
In
to
the
make a movie.
foothills from the trees.
from the foothills in Windsor. That's right.
Do you have a list, Zach?
I only wrote Star Wars because that's all that could come to my mind at the time.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Either way, I can go if you want.
Go for it, man.
All right. I got top 5. I've got number 5, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Never seen it.
No, dude, it's so good. It still holds up. Like as far as like it's made by the Chiodos brothers, who are kind of like in the rankings of stop motion practical effect dudes. They're like up there with Phil Tippett. They were like, hey, we just make stuff for everybody else all day, every day. Let's make our own movie. So it's the only they made some shorts and stuff, but it's basically the only movie they've ever made. And it's just them throwing all of their gonzo shit together. Like, it's a B movie about, alien clowns coming down and abducting people and doing stuff. But it's like, yeah, from the fucking spaceship effects to like the actual makeup of the clowns to like everything is just so gonzo and they had so much fun. It was just like literally like, let's throw everything we've got at this thing. And fucking, yeah, it's a cult classic for a reason. It still holds up. Everything like, yeah, even from like the rotoscoped like lasers and like all of that. It's just like total labor of love. It's fucking awesome.
I have to watch it.
Yeah.
And then my number 4 is The Fly, another Goldblum movie.
Nice.
Yeah, just because the painstaking fucking makeup effects are just like, it still holds up. Like it's just like so.
Yeah,
it's like it makes you
gross.
cringe. Yeah, it's still so gross, even though it came out in like fucking 83 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it makes you sad when you watch like older practical movies like this because you're like, oh, like we just put Ryan Reynolds, like we put some green paint on his face and then we like CGI'd in like whatever's happening when it's like, dude, people go to school for makeup artistry. Just like you can just like, instead of, you know, CGIing like bumps on Ryan Reynolds' face, just get this dude to fucking glue some stuff on. It's gonna look 10 times better.
Yeah.
And then just to like mix things up, because it's not all just gross out 80s films. I've got Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
Yep.
Because like, some parts of Gollum look a little rough every now and then, like some of his animations, but otherwise it's like, holds up.
I forgot that these came out like in the 2000s.
Yeah,
I know.
me too.
I keep thinking they're newer. But
No.
they're still.
2000,
No, everything holds up.
2001, right?
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, the whole Gollum suit where he had the balls on him. That was like the first time they started to really implement that. I
Like
think.
super strong mocap stuff.
Yeah, I remember that being a huge deal.
But yeah, still holds up. Still like, everything looks great. And then my number 2 is Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Just because
That's my number 3. All right.
Yeah.
Right on.
Just because like it's like seamless blending of animation and live action, like and just like it just must have been a fucking nightmare to make because everything works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like every single little touch of like an animated character is shown in real life. Like everything actually interacts. It's not just, hey, I'm here talking to the wall and then we're going to draw in Roger Rabbit. It's like, no. Like Roger Rabbit is making dimples in the bed he's sitting on.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, it's nuts.
Yep.
And
Lots of attention to detail on that one.
yeah,
It's
and
pretty
it's
good.
like, it's so much better than like a Space Jam or anything like that, where you literally just have like
Cartoons just
Michael
on the
Jordan
screen.
just talking to a wall. Like he's like, I don't know, Bugs,
looking
what are we
through
doing?
'em.
Yeah.
Dude, that's another thing. When I rewatched that, I was like, I didn't realize how terrible this movie looked.
That was horrible.
It's so hard to get through now.
It's also just, it's a bad movie. And it's like, Space Jam is
really not good.
I remember like throwing that on during like the lockdown and being like, getting 10 minutes in, like just getting past, I'm on Islam, hey, welcome to the gym. And then being like, wow, this is garbage. This is unwatchable. And then my number 1, because I'm a little ooky spooky kooky girl who belongs at the back section of Hot Topic. My number 1 is The Thing.
Okay.
The Thing is just like mind-blowing practical
That's my number
effects.
5.
Like,
When did
it's
that come out?
82,
82,
81.
really?
81.
81, yeah.
Wow.
But it's like every,
The dog splitting
the
in half.
fucking dog splitting in half, the
Have you
chest
seen it?
bursting open with the teeth.
a long
all
time
of
ago.
them.
Yeah.
Long time. But
Yeah.
I've seen 2 of the films you've said a long time ago.
Yeah, it's just fucking goddamn.
Like The Fly, I was too scared to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's a scary film. I don't even know if I've actually seen The Fly. But now
Fly is like it's a depressing love story.
Yeah.
I would argue it's more of like what happens when you I feel like the message of The Fly is what happens when you put your obsessions or your job above your relationship, basically.
But he actually becomes a fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's why I think I didn't watch it, because I think the makeup is probably so good that even the trailer
It's intense.
and the
It's
pictures of it, it's
yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
And like still, it's like 2023. It's still like, oh, I want to go puke right now. That looks awful.
Yeah, I've always had a hard time with bumpy, weird, creepy shit like that.
And the thing actually still grosses me out.
Oh yeah, The Thing is still
Rewatching it,
hardcore. Yeah.
Still.
They like
It's good
remade
stuff.
it, I think, in like 2000. I never watched it because I was like, blasphemy. But they remade it in 2011, and it's like mostly CGI, and so it's just like, it's just like watching like Stranger Things, basically, or something. Like you're like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
Looks
then
good, but it's not the same.
Yeah. And my number 4, mostly because it's practical effects, still is Alien. Mm-hmm. So it's just still great space trucker movie.
Yeah, space horror.
Movie, I fucking love it. Number 3 was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Number 2 is the second and third Pirates. movies.
Caribbean?
Oh.
Oh,
So like
Wow.
Dead Man's Chest. So the first one I rewatched not too long ago, and it's they kind of fallen apart.
yeah.
But the second one, where Davy Jones comes into it,
Yeah, that
is a
is
good one.
The
Bill,
makeup
Bill
is
Nighy
amazing.
is fucking awesome, and I just can't get over. I'm still rewatching it, going,
Yeah.
those are
All
amazing
the
effects.
barnacles.
He's playing the organ with his tentacles.
Yeah.
It's like-
And they have like stuff crawling out of his face as he's doing it. Oh, it's so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree. 2 and 3. Like the first one though is rough now.
Yeah.
Like that bit
Yeah.
when
They definitely got more funding for the second
Yeah.
one.
the bit when she's on like the fucking haunted pirate ship and like the moonlight comes out and it's like
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't a nightmare, love. You're in one. Or something like that. I forget the exact quote, but it's just like, they like reveal all the like skeleton pirates and you're like, oh fuck, this looks so rough.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like,
It's
this is
goofy.
like bowling animation when you get a
for
strike
sure.
level.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously though.
But my number 1 for kind of gross out stuff is Eraserhead.
Oh yeah.
Haven't seen
I don't
it.
think I've even heard of this
Yeah,
movie.
I tried to think of things you guys might not have been exposed to.
Yeah.
But now you're
Eraserhead.
You're going to regret it now.
Yeah.
Good God.
Eraserhead's like one of the strongest horror movies we've ever seen, in the fact that it's just like it makes you like just breathe deeply. It's a fucking it's it's just watching a plotless nightmare.
Yeah.
It's like,
And you call it your number one because it was so graphic?
And it holds up. It's like, it still creeps me the F out.
Oh, God. I don't know.
So it's severely independent. David Lynch, you know who David Lynch is?
Yeah,
course.
sounds
Okay.
right, yeah.
One of David Lynch's early films that took him, for some reason, 6 years to make, 7 years to make this one movie because they lost funding, kept coming
yeah,
back.
there's just no money, and yeah.
But it follows this guy, Eraserhead, has a strange relationship with a woman and kind of has a deformed baby. And it just gets weirder and weirder.
Weirder. Deformed baby.
Yeah. And there's all kinds of gross, like, food horror. And
Yeah, it's just basically, it ends up being like it's in Mr. Lynch's, fun, very like weird way. And it's just, it's coming to terms with fatherhood, and like, it's the whole thing of like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
And does that make me a bad person?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking wild.
Yeah. So it's what's affected me the most in my life.
Yeah,
For sure.
Great. We'll watch it
Can't wait
tonight.
to watch it.
Yeah.
I imagine that I recommend watching it in the dark
Okay.
with maybe no refreshments.
Okay.
I don't know. Just I would
take
want
it all in.
I would want to desensitize whoever was watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, no food, no drink.
Just take it all in.
Sounds gnarly.
I don't know. I mean, people.
What year was this movie?
It's like 77,
Oh, wow. Real?
Finished
maybe,
it in the
even
late 70s. Started it when he was in film school.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he
So,
probably
I mean-
started it in like 69 or 71 or something. But yeah.
What are some of David Lynch's other films?
Blue Velvet is
Mulholland
okay.
Drive.
Mulholland Drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue Velvet's Chuck's favorite.
It's like one of my my Mount Rushmore movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just fucking oof. Fire Walk with Me, depressing as hell. Wild at Heart, I really want to rewatch. I haven't seen that in a long time. It's Nick Cage and Laura Dern from this. So
Nick
it's Ellie.
Yeah, Lauren Dern's in his movies. Yeah.
So it's Ellie Sadler and Nicolas Cage in a like very passionate romance. And it's Nick Cage doing a really fun, bad Southern accent. I'm just so gosh darn wild at heart, darling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
It's so fucking good. He's obsessed with Elvis in the movie, and also it's got a really weird Wizard of Oz through line.
Oh, interesting.
What was the TV show?
Twin Peaks.
Twin
Man.
Peaks.
Yeah,
Peaks.
we actually
Laura
we
Palmer,
need to cancel a streaming service right now because my wife was just like craving Twin Peaks so bad that she signed up for like a little trial of something so we could like binge a bunch of it, and then was just like, fuck me. Like we didn't cancel it in time, so now we've got this thing for like another month or
That's
two.
how they get you, man.
I know.
Twin Peaks was on Netflix for a long time.
It was for a long
Yeah.
time. That was like our go-to, like just kind of white noise, ambient, like fall asleep to, because it's just like the soundtrack is so soothing and haunting. And
So
then like
haunting.
everyone's speaking patterns are very lulling and comforting, unless they're screaming.
Yeah.
But it's so much of this.
Eraserhead has a lot of breaking that silence, screaming.
Yeah.
Eraserhead.
Yeah.
It's a funny name for a movie, too.
It's intense. I guess it was Lost in the Divorce. I was gonna say I think I still have it on DVD, but I guess I don't. I must have like lost it when one of the many moves I've done.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Good list.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Plenty to watch now.
Yeah. And on to the verdicts. I'm pretty sure we're
All Gonna Let Live.
all going to
Oh
live.
yeah, it's unanimous. It's like, like as we said, it's like one of the best blockbusters of all time. It's kind of, literally got
It's-
something for everybody.
Yeah.
Somehow PG-13, despite all the blood and the gore and the...
Oh, you think it'd be R? Especially
Nowadays it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
But,
Well, you got to sell, dude. You got to sell that
Oh, no,
merch. So it's like, it's got to be PG-13.
I'm all for it, but if you have kids that are approaching like 10, 11,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
great movie to share with them.
But yeah, now it's time to give y'all the floor.
Yeah, you got pluggables.
You got pluggables. I know you do.
Your podcast.
Your music career, all the things.
Yeah.
All of our careers.
All the tings, baby.
Yeah, if you need an IV, I'll be at Sutter Hospital Monday through Friday doing my nurse job.
Yeah, if you want some good cocktails, I'm at the Matheson. That's all we're plugging.
These are our day jobs. You can catch We Are the Mortal Kombat podcast, where we This has been really fun for us because we don't actually have structure for our podcast.
Yeah. Well, we got a little more. We have more like we do this in 15 minutes and then we do this for
we had
35,
structure
and then we do this.
because we had a couple podcasts that went like 3 hours and we were like, I'm done editing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm never editing that again. But yeah, we mainly discuss trauma, childhood trauma. So a little bit more, it's real life conversations. And we've had one guest. And so for the last 45 episodes, 46.
Today's going to be 45th.
45th. We're going to go podcast after we're done with y'all. But new episodes every Friday where you can catch us discussing really just like either.
It used to be a lot of religious trauma for like most like 20 episodes straight. And then we just kind of did all that. And now we're just trying to wait because we just did a rebrand from one name to the next. And so we were going to start.
Don't advise it.
Yeah. we needed to do it, but man, has it caused some issues for sure, especially with the algorithms.
Very difficult.
Yeah. But we really want to start getting into consistent interviews of other people that have similar traumas or whatever.
Because everyone has trauma, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
And so, it's a little more, but it's a blend of everything. I mean, like a perfect example is like last week all of us were like suffering just from like work anxiety, life anxiety. And it's just like, you know how you have those weeks where it's just fucking brutal and shit hits the fan. And I feel like that's everyone's life. And so like we kind of come into our podcast, like come as you are. Yeah. So it's very vulnerable. And Neil Brennan actually has a podcast called Blocks. And he talks about like he interviews like famous people and interviews what he calls blocks, which is like their emotional trauma from their childhood. Is actually really good. So I feel like you're starting to see more serious podcasting kind of break through the mold a little bit rather than just the comedic overlord that's just like taking over. But we mix it all in.
Yeah, it's been really fun just doing like a fun podcast reviewing a movie. Where it's like I don't have to talk about my trauma. This is beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, every new episode every Friday. Zach's plugging away at shorts every single day.
Yeah.
We post on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Well, we used to do Instagram and Facebook, but we stopped.
Oh, we quit them.
Yeah, because they're tough.
Bastards.
Little bastards. They've been shadow banning us like crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, Mortal Kombat every Friday.
That's as much creativeness. I write a new track for our episodes every single week. We play old school Nintendo video games every single week on it.
We were doing Mario Kart religiously for like 15 or 16 episodes. And then now we're going to Super Smash Bros. But you're so bad at it. I don't think we should.
The idea of the podcast is that you're supposed to go into your inner child to talk about your trauma, and then you use that inner child to play
a game or something. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming on.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
It's
for
been
having us.
fun.
We have a Patreon that 3 people contribute to.
Love it.
Hell yeah, they do.
And you're 2 of them? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, here we are.
Who's the third? Go pay and find out.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're still working on, nailing down our copy on what to say, like what to offer.
We're how to beg.
Yeah.
We're planning on having secret episodes with, I don't know, whoever we can get celebrity wise.
Like porn movies or?
No.
I'm just kidding.
You could probably do like uncut episodes too.
Incognito mode episodes.
Yeah. Where like you leave everything in, don't cut anything out.
Well, we normally do a like a post show. We talk for like another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what's been going up on Patreon. But
Gotcha.
Nobody's biting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, we talk about it all the time. Longevity, I think, is the key with one having an art form like this, but also just having a podcast. Whereas like once you get to episode 50, you're just going to have more fans. If you get to episode 100, you're just going to have more fans. And the more numbers you have, the more you're going to have people that are very interested in that shit.
Yeah, that's why this was what, 18, and we're just waiting to have that cache of episodes before we reach out to more people.
And it changes. I feel like we're about to break 50, and from where we started to where we've come, the podcast has not changed. We still talk to each other about our trauma, but like the production level and how we're like delivering it and like the familiarity of the work. It's like you record on Sundays, you edit Mondays and Tuesdays, you like prepare on for like Friday. It's like this. It's
like it kind of is a lot of anxiety because you're like, oh, I have to do it next week, and then I have to do it the next week, and then I have to do it the next week.
It's work.
Yeah, it's so much work.
It's definitely work.
Hopefully someday it starts to pay a little bit at least.
Yeah. We're also we're doing our first video podcast in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I remember about that.
We're all going to be dressing up as KISS members to review Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
Who's going to do your makeup?
I believe Taylor is one of our guests. Yeah.
I mean, I might do my own.
Yeah, I can do my own too.
Sure
I think it's fun to just do your own in the sense of like, have her show up with like flawless, like Peter Criss.
All, like finger painted.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucking love it.
I'm just going to have a plastic Halloween mask.
Did we divvy up?
Taylor wants to be Chris.
I knew she wanted to be Chris, yeah.
Robert, I have it here. He picked. I think he wants to be, between me and you, it's Ace and Gene. So we get to fight over that.
I'll be Ace of Base. I don't care. I'll see the sign.
How are you all filming in here?
TBD. We also have.
Well, that's actually one thing I wanted to. I don't know. This is probably not the right place to beg for it, but I need $40. No, I have a bunch of GoPros. So I'm going to set them up in the circular fashion in the center of the table, and we're going to do it, Let 70 Show style, spinning around.
Love it. Smart.
And then maybe one camera off to the side. But
I'm
also the editor, so I don't want to fucking
we get it, man.
keep adding on to it. I also work on another podcast, On Stage with Jim and Tom. I don't think you probably haven't seen that.
I haven't heard of it, no.
It's a podcast we did. It was live music and an interview at the Phoenix in Petaluma.
Really?
We used to do that weekly. Before the pandemic.
Wow.
And we have 7 cameras.
Jesus.
Yeah. And a crew of people. And I didn't have to edit that one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was gnarly.
No, thank you.
So like,
is that podcast just like sponsored by like a bunch of people? Like, where do they get their money?
It's sponsored by Jim Agius, who owns the Petaluma Market.
There you go.
And he's a philanthropist and a big time documentarian.
Gotcha.
He just wanted to have a good show.
Yeah, On Stage is a fucking great show.
Yeah, we had a lot of great live music and yeah,
very fun.
It was good stuff.
Very cool.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining the show, boys.
Yeah, this has been fun.
Thanks for having us.
This is our first time jumping out of our own podcast to another podcast. So thanks for popping our dino cherries.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You were legit driving right back to his house, going in his very hot garage, I'm guessing, today.
Very hot
and
today.
then filming some trauma.
Yeah.
The trauma going to be that you didn't drink enough water on your drive?
Probably.
Dying.
Thank you for listening. I have been Luc Londe.
I've been Chuck Starzenski.
I've been Zach Blaustone.
And I am Nathan Blaustone.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers.
Bang, bang.
Bang.